last stand, and I came to deliver. Been called a Clinton operative, a Russian, and a grifter. By libs, a washing student debt, proud to be an intern, sucking up to pigs who get a tax cut in the midterms. You cut the ties but never heal the wrist burns. Capitalist shackles wrap and penetrate like ringworms around the necks of those whose deaths will not affect the king's purse or the coffers of the company the king serves, who manufacture mandated tinctures. Their safety data hanging from a fixture, half a mile skyward, just dangling from the rafters. My grift is sobbing till I'm cackling with laughter. I guess I would've made a decent actor. I'd be great at crying on command until they cut plus 40 minutes after. When the director waves a hand, it ain't a rap, it's now a legal matter. Honey, my grift is weeping on a mic until I'm hacking up airstrike verses like it's bombs away and batter up. Swinging on these bigots, they keep killing us to fatten up. Kill the switch, eat the rich, I think they're finally fat enough. Grab your knife and fork, the world is yours, just say you've had enough. And if you're comfy, you could go ahead and laugh it up. Tell me how the most important vote I'll ever cast is like the choosing of a bus, in that it might not take you anywhere you want, but no one can deny the fact the bus is now no longer where it was. And that's the kind of progress we should celebrate and trust. Spoken like a kid who never took a bus. Spoken like a piece of shit that used some cash to mask his stink and truly thinks he's one of us. Spoken like a terminally unserious person who equates our cries for rights to mixed up orders from a server. It paints a privileged picture of what you would label urgent if the worst thing you've experienced in life has been the time your waiter accidentally brought a tray of gold flake scallop when you clearly ordered gold flake urchin. And now you're storming out the restaurant and hopping in a Tesla. You got 80 pounds of Tony Fauci merchant.
Rewind to chains won't make you wait in such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride. Rewind to a chance won't make you wait in such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride.
Best to place your bets on weaponizing the identity of every limp progressive claiming grassroots integrity. Policy is a slippery slope for all of its complexity, so flex your brave resistance with this Ilhan Omar NFT. Numbered one of 723. Each depicts her valiantly championing a bill before she lays it at a donor's feet. And she can throw her hands up in the air with AOC and say if only Nina Turner could have voted present too, that's why we need another seat. We need some more progressives we elect to only tweet, who live to serve humana and their label of elective slapped on every patient's gravest needs. And every station plays the theme that medical professionals agree on the effectiveness and safety of injections authorized for this emergency. And in purely unrelated news, the profits of the ones who manufacture vaccines just increased by nearly 36 billion with a fucking B. Sometimes it feels like we're the only ones that see. Sometimes it feels like all of us are lost at sea. And every time we think we see an island on the tip of the horizon, it turns out to be another measure making sure we're kept within the watchful eye of murderous authority. And so I guess my grift is crying for the future they denied us, where the people who would buy us are a mockable minority. And we are more than genomes under warranty. And we are more than serfs in constant quarantine. If I had a single breath left, I'd let the chorus scream. I'd announce our leaders claiming none for all and more for me. None for all and more for me. None for all and more for me. None for all and more for me.
Rewind to a chance won't make you wait in such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride. Rewind to a chance won't make you wait in such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride.
You were told to come alone. Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow. Proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know, I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe. Before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone. Try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. That a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking...
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward and 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light on my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning. Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never.
No, Indy left. What is happening here?
To check out IndependentLeft.news.
The Indie News Network.
Indie Left News.
Oh, hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.news. Great work.
Indie Left News.
IndependentLeft.news.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News. Shout out.
Oh, what's up, Independent Left?
Friends show.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
The INN, Indy, you're wonderful.
I think Indie was onto something.
Independent News Network, Indie News.
Yeah. What's up, Indy, over on Rockfin?
Independent News Network, also known as INN.
Indie Left News.
I don't know if I would have made it through that 3 weeks without Indy, honestly.
No, I was just going to ask Indy.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
No, you know what we're doing? We're world building, Indie.
Indie Left News.
You were doing the INN recruiting.
Indie News.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News.
Check out Independent Left News.
At Kennedy News.
I see Indy's in the chat. Hi, Indy. Okay, great. Bye.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, we did it again. Oh, that's a different angle for you. Oh, okay. I like that one. What's up, everybody? Hi, everybody.
How you doing? How you doing? And you? How you doing?
What is up? Wow, we got a bunch of people here, including if he says he's going to be here. So, Dominic, what's going on? Saying hey to Dominic. We got Dr. Nick. We got so many people here. Oh, this is great. I love you guys. There are more than 30 people live here. Plus, we're live on rockfin.com/IND Left News, rumble.com/C/Independent Left News. All one word. I know it's a mouthful. Sorry. I got to cut that down. But then all the old links could disappear if I kill that. Yes. Oh, shit. It's Indian Reefer. Yes, that's correct. Bad Cookies. It is us.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Yep. Here we go. So... Oh, we're going to go up close and personal. Let's turn off. Let's everybody saying hi to each other.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. All right. So we're going to have some stories this week. I did something really interesting, and I don't know how well it's going to work out. I'm making an audible call at the last minute. I was going to do these slides. So I used an AI program. I put the article into this AI thing and said, make me slides based on this. And they did okay. And I was going to do that. I'm like, you know what? They're a little weak, but we're gonna go through a couple of them, and I'll show you what the difference is, and we can do that too. All right, what's up, dude? You had
not much.
You had INN News this week with Colin, with the Care Bear.
Yep.
We're live on INN, on all the INN, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Mostly it's in the Left News channels tonight. We're on Rockfin, Rumble, like I said. We're on Telegram too, t.me/IND Left News. We're there too. But this is How Do We Miss That? Hi, everybody. And welcome to How Do We Miss That? And of course, I got logged out of my little spiel here, but I know that How Do We Miss That is a show that airs every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's like now. Oh, wow. So, yeah, we got a bunch of people. Rick Solis, welcome. Holy crap, there's so many people here. This is great. All right, I'm stumbling. Okay, how did we miss that? We got it. It's a show featuring articles written by independent journalists who expose corruption, cover workers' organizing, and environmental crises, while challenging corporate establishment narratives and talking points. New episodes stream live Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, like now, on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch. We're on Twitch, right? I forgot about that one. Rockfin, Substack, Facebook, Telegram. Podcast usually published within a couple days. I don't know if you're listening to the podcast. You can even watch it on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, everywhere else. I'm co-host Indie, founder, editor, Indie Media Today on Substack and the Indie Media Awards. There you go. Thank you. No sound. There we go. And I got this guy sitting next to me. He's Reef. That's Reef Breland. He's INN's technical director. He is the creator and the co-host of INN News, which you should watch on Wednesday nights on Indie News Network, because we are both co-founders of Indie News Network, a collaborative family of independent content creators You can find all our channels at indienews.network. And you can see down in the corner, indieleft.media. That's all of our channels. You can get there from there. Please make sure share this link, like the stream, subscribe to our channel if you're not already on all the platforms where you watch, listen. We're literally everywhere. So, we had a hell of a week. We're all ready to launch a new show. So that's going to be happening soon. Helping Misty book for TNT Radio, and we had a time shift there, so getting everyone to switch over there, that's been fun. And Greg's been working his butt off. Shout out to Big Mad Crab. And so let's get to some stories because it's 10:05 already. All right, so what do we got? All right, let's hit it.
You brought the stories.
Yeah, I brought the stories. That's right. Oh, that's right. Okay. Hey. So, hi everybody. Ooh. All right.
You okay?
First one, no. First one is no. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna, but we're gonna work on it. Pressenza, which I never really heard of, but it picked up an Assange story that ended up in my inbox. And I thought this one was pretty good. Why the release of Julian is crucial for our future, and I think this doesn't cover any new ground specifically. It kind of rehashes, but I love that it was posted in Berlin. In German, and it's available in 6 different languages, including English. And this is actually a speech delivered by Fabian Scheidler at the Brandenburg Gate, which is in Berlin on World Press Freedom Day. That was back in May. So so we can read this whole one. Before we do that, what I wanted to do was show you guys what the slideshow thing was going to cover. Let's go to slideshow on, and now we're going to go slideshow. Check that out. All right, so I have the free Assange, and this is a great, beautiful picture. Beautiful, big, bold picture. Don't be rude. So, okay, so it says the case has been a topic of much debate and controversy in recent years. So very, very high level. What's Fabian saying in his essay? One of the key arguments put forward is that the case of Assange is about more than just one man. It's about protecting fundamental rights to free speech, right? That's pretty good. Assange's work as a journalist and publisher has been instrumental in exposing corruption, wrongdoing around the world, shining light on issues that would otherwise have remained hidden from public view, 100%. It never mentions the Iraq war logs or anything specific. It stays very high level. This makes kind of like businessy slideshows in a way. So by prosecuting Assange, governments are sending a message to journalists and publishers everywhere. If you reveal information that we don't want you to, we will come after you. This in turn threatens the foundation of our democracy, which relies on free and independent press. So it's pretty good. You know, it's not too bad at a high level for a summary. Tell me what this is about. Another key. What was that? Can I hear that? Oh, thank you. No. He's curating still, folks.
I didn't mean that. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I just exited out of a thing and it automatically played.
So another key argument put forward by Scheidler is that the release of Assange is crucial for the future of our society because of the power of information. That in today's world, information is more valuable than ever before, and those who control it hold immense power. That his work with WikiLeaks has shown us just how much information is being kept from the public and how important it is to have access to this information in order to make informed decisions about our world. By releasing so this is actually really good, right? So this is like 5 or 6 slides, the threat of authoritarianism, and here's our conclusion, right? Now, I wanted to contrast that to exactly what he writes, because they do say that this is not just about one man, it's about the very foundations of our society. And he does say all of those things. However, all right, if we actually go to the article, all right, it's a lot stronger in language. They really kind of clean it up and really try to soften it for the audience. So here is the speech. We live in an perverted world. Julian Assange has uncovered war crimes as a journalist, but none of the criminals has ever been charged, let alone convicted. Instead, the man who revealed the crimes has been incarcerated for 4 years in inhumane conditions at Belmarsh High Security Prison in London. Nils Melzer, UN Special Rapporteur on Torture from 2016 to 2022, concluded that Assange has been tortured by this treatment. Julian has not been charged with any crime in the UK, elsewhere, or in Europe, or in his native Australia. He is in custody solely because the U.S. is demanding his extradition to face charges under a draconian World War I Espionage Act and imprison him for the rest of his life. War and lies are closely linked. Right? So these are Fabian's words. But Assange is not a spy, Fabian. He's not a spy. He's a journalist and has acted as such. If he were extradited and convicted, it would set a dangerous precedent. Every journalist on Earth in the future would have to fear being imprisoned for life as a spy for revealing dirty secrets of governments. That would be the end of freedom of the press as we know it.
Yep.
What is he in prison for? Well, he's in prison for showing the truth about our wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, elsewhere. War and lies are very closely related. Wars cannot be fought without lies because most populations reject these wars as soon as they know the truth about them. Of course they do. Governments never tell the truth about their wars because otherwise they lose the support of the population. Embedded journalists don't tell us the truth about wars. After the disaster of Vietnam, various concepts have been developed to allow journalists to go to war theaters only embedded, accompanied by the respective military. We saw this in Iraq, we saw it in Afghanistan and elsewhere. Only a few journalists had the opportunity to look behind the scenes. This is why leaks, confidential sources, and journalists like Julian Assange are so important. Yeah. Reporting the dirty truth about wars, no matter from which side they are waged, is crucial so that these wars can no longer be waged in the future. Let me give a few examples of this from history. In Vietnam, reporting by courageous journalists, often citing anonymous sources or using leaks, played a decisive role in ending the bloodshed. One of the most important steps was the story revealed by Cy Hirsch in 1969 about war crimes in My Lai. At that time, U.S. troops had murdered hundreds of civilians, mostly women and children in the village. This story and the images of it were instrumental in turning popular sentiment against this war. Another important revelation was the so-called Pentagon Papers published by whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg with the help of journalists, other journalists. They showed that several U.S. government had systematically lied to the population about Vietnam, about its motives, about scale, about its methods. And it came out that not only Vietnam was bombed, but also Laos and Cambodia. And an estimated 3 to 4 million people died in that war. Brutal.
There's another thing about that Seymour Hersh guy. He put something else out recently.
He's
Big Nothing Burger.
He's going to come up again here because these reports into largely anonymous sources on which these were based were instrumental in bringing this war to an end. This was later followed by the revelations of the secret programs used by CIA to illegally spy on U.S. citizens. These revelations, again revealed by Cy Hirsch, led to the establishment of the so-called Church Commission in 1975 to provide paramilitary oversight of the intelligence agencies, an important step in defense of democracy, quote-unquote democracy. Then we saw a new phase of wars with the so-called War on Terror after September 11, 2001. In 2004, guess who again, Cy Hirsch, exposed U.S. torture practices at Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison, as we know. And enter WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. They are part of this long tradition that in 2010 and 11, based largely on information from Chelsea Manning, WikiLeaks exposed a whole new series of crimes committed by our governments that shocked the world. Among them was a document that showed how the CIA tried to mobilize sentiment in Germany and France for the war in Afghanistan. Well, didn't they just do that for the war in Ukraine? A headline from this document, a headline from this document is telling, quote, why it is not enough to count on the apathy of the Germans, unquote. Right? The point was to mobilize people for an expansion of operations in Afghanistan through manipulated information. And remember, this is a speech that's being given at the Brandenburg Gate. The so-called collateral murder video that then caused a public stir. Of course it did. Audio and video footage from a U.S. helicopter in Iraq documented American soldiers shooting at civilians, including 2 Reuters journalists, as they talked about the best way to murder them. The survivors tried to retrieve one of the journalists who was badly injured, but the soldiers shot the wounded man again until he was dead. There were also
double tap.
two small children in the car who were hit and survived and seriously wounded. This was just one small detail from that war, but the worldwide outrage over it shows what happens when the dirty truth about wars comes out. Support drops, the grand narratives about those wars shatter, that they're good wars, that they're just wars, that they're fought in the name of values. Again, are you hearing me, Ukraine? Right. Now later, WikiLeaks released the Afghan war logs and the Iraq war logs, hundreds of thousands of documents chronicling war crimes committed by both Western powers and the warlords with whom they work closely. Finally, the Guantanamo Papers showed the world public, the brutality with which this torture prison was run. The horror of the so-called war on terror became public, not least through WikiLeaks. Now, so again, why is he in prison? Because he removed the mask from the hypocrisy of our so-called Western values and has shown how brutal the reality behind it is. That's why he's being persecuted. That's why he's been imprisoned. That's why he's been tortured, as Nils Melzer says, and as we agree. The courage of Julian Assange and sources like Chelsea Manning was crucial to other whistleblowers and other journalists subsequently daring to expose dark practices of our governments, like Edward Snowden, who exposed the spying practices of the NSA and other agencies, and Daniel Hale, I'll add, who exposed the drone targeting program, that it had 90% targeting to civilians. Julian Assange has come under massive attack following his revelations, not only from the governments involved, but also from some journalists. A host on the American TV channel Fox publicly called for him to be murdered. The U.S. government, with the help of UK and Sweden, eventually did everything it could to put him behind bars as quickly as possible under various pretexts. The release of Julian Assange is critical for the future of journalism, freedom of speech, democracy, and far beyond. Yep. To prevent future wars, free journalism is indispensable. Yeah. Today we find ourselves in an extremely dangerous situation. A new, cold, and also hot war between the blocs is looming. The war in Ukraine threatens to escalate. I think it already has. The USA and some allies are threatening war against China, which is crazy, suicidal in a way. This is a matter of survival for humankind because it could lead to a nuclear confrontation. The situation is critical for another reason. With climate change, species extinction, and other ecological catastrophes, we are at a dangerous tipping point in the Earth system. We must concentrate our social forces on setting in motion a socio-ecological transformation that will still prevent the climate catastrophe and enable us to live on this planet in dignity for generations to come. That would be nice. For this, we need resources.
How dare you!
For this, we need resources, money, and international cooperation for a peaceful transformation and not for war. We're currently experiencing a new arms race that brings us closer to nuclear confrontation and at the same time deprives us of the possibility to stop the ecological collapse. A brief review. The so-called wars on terror in Afghanistan, Iraq, and elsewhere have cost a combined total of at least $5 trillion. That's about the amount that would be needed, according to Noam Chomsky and economists. $5 trillion. Thank you. That's about how much Noam Chomsky and economist Robert Poland for a global Green New Deal to launch an ecological transition in agriculture, energy supply, transportation, and at the same time create more social justice. Kumbaya, my friend, kumbaya. Yeah. Okay. Yep. This money has been channeled into wars over the last 20 years instead of the transformation we so desperately need. Yes, 100%.
Not wrong.
Okay.
It's all about geometry.
Right. So to prevent this from happening now, we need critical journalism. We need free journalism. We need courageous journalism. The recent Pentagon leak has shown that, according to the U.S. military's assessments, the war in Ukraine is not winnable for either side in the near future. It's a stalemate. Yeah, I don't know about Bakhmut. I would probably disagree with that. Prolonging this war further will result in tens or hundreds of thousands more deaths with no substantial gains for Ukraine. Only negotiations can end this war. In this situation, we need free and daring journalists more than ever to give us unvarnished accounts of reality, to look beyond the facades. There has been, yes, and they've been mostly ignored and dismissed and mocked and ridiculed. At the tipping point in human history at which we stand, we need more than ever to defend the freedom of journalism and its sources. And again, this was published by Fabian Schindler in Berliner Zeitung under Creative Commons license, and we give him credit for that. And I believe this was his speech actually there in German on activism, Munich. So we'll put the link in the chat. This is who Fabian Scheidler is.
Speechen, ja.
Good speech, man. Good stuff.
That's how I figured that went.
So I picked that up. I thought that was a good one for us to do. Cool. Hi, everybody. What's up, Karen? How are you, Karen? Good to see you. Desert Mantis, Rick, Nick, Bad Cookies, Anthony Malecki. You know, it's really funny. We were playing, I was in the car today, and my kids, they asked me to play Jesse's rendition of The Sneetches. And right in the middle of the whole thing, he stops and goes, "Hi, Anthony." And they go, "Who's Anthony?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Anthony Malecki. That's our friend." It's so funny. Mastermind, KSW, a lot of the Hardlands families
they're arguing
here.
in the chat whether it's pop or soda.
Oh, well, it depends on where you live, but for me, it's soda.
Sir, where I live, it's called fizzy drink.
Lots of orange soda. Orange soda.
Orange soda.
Orange soda.
Yep. I love orange soda.
I'm a big fan of the Sunkiss, but not Fanta for whatever reason. Explain that to me.
What about
Fanta
Squirt? Do you like Squirt?
I'm not going near that one, dude. I am not going near that one. Okay.
The pop.
We have another story.
Do we?
And yeah, so all right. I don't remember how this works. Okay, so yeah, first we're gonna do
porky to be kosher.
Dog bites man. Journalist sues cop. Okay, so that's the first thing, and we're gonna go to slideshow.
What did the AI go? Cops are nice. They're nice.
Well,
what happened?
Let's check it out. Okay, did we get our propaganda? Let's take a look. Okay, journalist sues cops. So here's what's going on. Here's what the AI slideshow projector said, that the recent incident involving the detention of Cop City journalists by APD has sparked controversy and outrage among media professionals.
Controversy. Yeah, sure.
So I don't know among whom other than the left, because nobody else wants to talk about it other than to suck off cops. According to reports, Timmy Kinnison, who works for Cop City News, was detained by police while covering a protest in downtown Atlanta on June 1st. He was allegedly held for several hours without explanation and subjected to intimidation tactics. This is pretty good, right?
Yeah, they claim they're all domestic terrorists.
Right. Well, Kinnison claims that he was wearing press credentials and identified himself as a journalist when he was approached by police officers. And despite this, he was handcuffed and taken into custody without being given a reason for his detention. And during his time in custody, Kinnison, I just want to like Sam Kinnison, right? Alleges that he was subjected to verbal harassment and intimidation by police officers, go figure, who reportedly made comments about his profession and threatened him with physical harm. Go figure. Again, this was out of Truthout. So in response to the incident, Kinnison has filed a lawsuit against the APD, alleging violations of his constitutional rights and seeking damages for the harm he suffered.
Fuck you, cops!
I applaud that. But what they're going to do is
now just only thinking of Sam doing this,
right?
The
lawsuit also seeks to hold the police department accountable for its actions to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. It sparked outrage. It said, like they said, among media professionals who've condemned the actions of the APD as a violation of press freedom. Again, I haven't heard anyone in the press actually talking about Timmy Kinnison. So because definitely, if I had heard the word Kinnison, I would have remembered that.
We definitely would have remembered that.
We would remember that name. So many journalists and media organizations have expressed their support. Let's see how, right? And the incident also raises important questions about police accountability for the treatment of protesters and journalists and by law enforcement agencies. At a high level, this is actually pretty decent. right? But it's not really giving you any
But what about a
detail.
low level?
At a low level, it's pretty miserable. But here's your conclusion: is that the incident involving him, highlights the ongoing struggle for freedom and police accountability in the U.S., and it also underscores the importance of protecting the rights of journalists and protesters. So they get the gist, right?
Sometimes.
Well, that one got the gist. All right. And we're going to go back there. And now we're going to go over here. And I'm going to show you what Truthout really said about this. Because this is pretty fascinating to see how the AI works. Right. So, detained Cop City journalist sues Atlanta police and alleges intimidation. So you got Zane McNeill. This is actually a really good article. I read it. You got all the forest defenders, Stop Cop City. Great. Shout out to all the forest defenders. We stand in solidarity with them. And Stop Cop City.
Yeah, we covered them a few times.
City several times.
Blam-a-lam.
Yep. Well, Cop City.
Cop City.
Blam-a-lam, yes. Oh, we still having the pop soda argument? All right. Well, I'm going to take a drink of coffee out of my new coffee mug. So,
by coffee, he means hummingbird fuel.
Woo!
You know?
All right.
And he wonders why he reads fast and stumbles, and it's just because he's juiced on caffeine and sugar.
I'm hopped up
You
on
know?
Mountain Dew.
What to do? I'm coming at you like a spider monkey.
That's right. That's right. Everybody like and share the stream. I'm going to slow it down for 1 second and say that this is from our friends at Truthout. So subscribe to Truthout. They're pushing to raise about $35,000 over the next 4 days to keep themselves going and independent and not having to rely on corporate funding at all or advertisers. And we support the hell out of them. Truthout, by the way, is also an Indie Media Award honoree. You can hit the button for that. And then we can get going and read what Zach had to say, which was that an independent filmmaker and producer covering the Defend the Atlanta Forest protest. See, you didn't even get that detail from the slideshow. Like, what was he covering? Who was detained and interrogated by police for more than 90 minutes on June 15th last year. He's filed a federal lawsuit alleging civil rights violations that are part of a pattern of retaliation against free speech by the APD. So they didn't give you the journalist's name, Michael Wachalonis. Wait.
Watch a who now?
Wait a minute. What happened to Timmy Kinnison? I guess
That's what I'm saying.
What?
We'll figure out who Kinnison is.
Okay. Yeah.
In a minute. Watch it be the name of the cop, and you just read all of that wrong.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to AI. So the journalist, Michael Wachalonis, alleges in a lawsuit that police interfered with his filming in violation of his First Amendment rights, and that APD illegally detained, intimidated, harassed, and threatened him. Yeah, clearly it was not. We're gonna have to fix this in post or do something. But actually, I want to showcase this and show them that the AI that is spitting out this stuff, you cannot rely on it, because look what just happened. All right. I'm going to ask you to delete all the footage that you have today, since it's been obtained illegally to begin with. And depending on how the rest of this interview goes, will determine whether or not you're going to be arrested. That's what the officer allegedly said. So he refused to delete it, and he was later released without being issued a citation. However, the officers forced him to be photographed before leaving and warned him that I'm sure our paths will cross again down the road. Oh, that's nice. Right? That wasn't a threat or anything. So he says, quote, the most disturbing part of my detention was being brazenly lied to and threatened by senior APD officers in front of more than a dozen junior officers with body cams recording. It was a dark classroom lesson in how to violate a journalist's rights. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Attorneys, activists, journalists have drawn attention to a pattern of civil rights violations by APD and the department's targeting of opponents of Atlanta's public safety training site, or Cop City, Cop City, as it's come to be called.
Yep.
Dozens of Defend the Atlanta Forest activists have been charged with domestic terrorism, a move criticized as absurd by legal scholars and by us. 3 activists who placed flyers on mailboxes have also been arrested and charged with felony intimidation of an officer of the state and misdemeanor stalking. And that's the other story.
Well, as your legal counsel, we are legal scholars. So, I'll let you.
I am not a lawyer. I am not dispensing legal advice. I am only doing this for entertainment purposes. Okay. We are going to cover the other story for Cop City is going to be this 3 felonies, 3 facing felony charges. But the protest-related crimes are no crime at all. It's protected by the First Amendment. Even when it's not, you're talking about relatively minor charges, usually. And that's what a defense attorney representing the activist told Candace Byrne. The state is now cracking down on the same behavior that used to get you a $300 fine and a night in jail at tops, and it's a huge overreach because they want to stop it, and that's how they discourage behavior like that. Is they go overboard and they overpunish it. Journalists have also raised the alarm about the harassment and threats they've faced by APD when covering the mass arrests of Cop City protesters. What a surprise. So another one says, at one point I was personally threatened with arrest by an officer who, noting my out-of-town license plate, said, "Don't you know it's a felony to travel from another state for a protest?" Oh,
hey, boy, don't you know? Don't you know it's a felony?
Right? The officer ordered me to leave the area, but other people attempting to leave were being detained and cuffed.
Also,
which
show me the citation, officer. Like, show me the statute.
Right?
Like, which statute? You know?
Right? He said that if I left in my vehicle, I would not be arrested. And that's Francis Madison, and wrote that in March. Right?
What if he left in someone else's vehicle?
Candace Byrne also faced police intimidation while covering Cop City Week of Action. When leaving a downtown Atlanta protest, she was followed by cops to her friend's car. Several APD vehicles followed our vehicles. We attempted to leave downtown. They stopped us. I documented what happened next on a Twitter thread and live stream, she wrote in March. My friend was ticketed for allegedly not maintaining her lane and for her physical license being expired, although the license was technically renewed. That we were let go, I can only attribute to the thread and live stream going semi-viral during the stop itself. And they also are white women, so they're not going to be looked at too stringently. Let's call it for what it is, and I'll get in trouble for saying that. I don't give a shit.
What I mean? What I mean?
A journalist reporting for Unicorn Riot, shout out to Indie Media Award honoree Unicorn Riot, and a filmmaker who has worked with CNN and Discovery Channel, have also documented police harassment and retaliation for their coverage of the Cop City protesters. I mean, it's been really tough down there. APD has a history of unconstitutionally targeting journalists, and early this month paid out $105,000 to settle a photojournalist lawsuit over his arrest while covering a downtown protest in 2020.
Wow.
How about that? Yeah.
Could
And
be
they have a
more.
link to that. That's in the that's over here. We can actually go to that right here. There's the guy.
Yep.
They detained him illegally. They had to pay him out $105,000 just for screwing with him. That was during the George Floyd protests. So, more lawsuits are expected to be filed in the next few months now that they won one over the unconstitutional police treatment of journalists covering Cop City activists. Right. So now what they've been doing is saying, if you want to come back and if you want to cover this again, you better not file a lawsuit against us, or we're going to target you and we're not going to allow you to be here. Yeah, they're nuts. More than 40 human and environmental rights organizations, including the National Lawyers Guild, Human Rights Watch, and Southern Center for Human Rights, have condemned the retaliation and prosecution of activists by the APD. We've been covering this for a long time. Prosecutors in Georgia are launching a terrifying attack on our First Amendment rights. So where the hell did they get Kinnison from? That's what I want to find out.
I don't know.
Zane McNeill.
Control F, Kinnison.
Nice hair. Zane Crit Theory. Follow Zane.
Control F, Kinnison.
Yes.
It's like Kinn or whatever. It's a weird spelling they use.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. Yeah, no, it wasn't finding anything. What is weird? Okay, that's beyond strange. Like that, there are a bunch of names in there, and they just made one up. Okay.
Yep.
Ah.
Or it's in
How about
there,
that, folks. How about
it's
that,
probably
folks?
you didn't
All right,
spell
so
quite right.
So now that it's going back to Reef and I, let's go back to the name. Kinnison. No, that's what I searched.
Kinnison. Timmy W. Kinnison.
Kinnison. No matches. No matches.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Whatever.
Go home. What the hell is the name?
Google that. Google it. Google the name. Google the full name.
Oh no.
Go to your PowerPoint. Tommy W. Kinnison.
Timmy W. Kinnison.
Timmy. Timmy W.
right,
Kinnison.
So let's go back here. What does Timmy W. Kinnison show us? All right. I'm doxing somebody. No, don't do that. Don't put their home
Transportation
address
Safety
in.
Coordinator. That's Timothy W. Day.
Timmy. No, there is.
Where did it get this?
Journalists? Like.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
There is no. Okay. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
Nothing. That's ridiculous. Yeah, let's not use this again.
Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So.
No, it's fine. It's funny to see how wrong it is.
It kind of is.
I mean,
funny.
it did make the photo. What was the one you made the other day? Mimimoo.
Oh, those.
Mimimoo.
I've got a couple of those somewhere in here in the slideshow. So, yeah, those are awesome. I don't know if I put that one in though. All right, so let's go back. Yeah, damn it. All right. So the other cop city.
Where did it get that? You got to go look at the reference notes to see what it like.
I'm living a lie. I'm living a lie. Yes. So in the slideshow on, and we go Indy Maine. Okay. So here's the Cop City article, right? And we've got Unicorn Riot that wrote this awesome piece about the 3 individuals, unfortunately, who are being charged with 3 counts of felony. Felony what? Okay.
Yes.
Right? For allegedly distributing flyers near a Georgia troopers who was connected to the killing of a forest defender. Okay, at least they mentioned that.
How dare you?
That he was connected to killing Tort. All right. The incident has sparked controversy and raised questions about free speech and police brutality. That sounds a lot like the last slideshow. According to reports, the flyers... According to reports. I love how they play this down the middle. It's not us. It's always according to reports. And I don't know what's going on with the Unicorn Riot thing down there, but according to reports, the flyers contain information about the troopers' involvement in the killing of a forest defender and urged people to take action against police brutality. I think that's a good thing. The trooper in question has been accused of using excessive force and violating the rights of peaceful protesters. Well, that's not a good thing. All right, the 3 individuals who were facing charges for distributing the flyers have been identified as members of an activist group called Stop Cop City. Originally, that was something very different, and I changed it.
Okay.
Yes. They were arrested in August 2023. That's impossible because that hasn't happened yet. After allegedly distributing the flyers near the trooper's home. It was April 2023, actually. The charges against them include obstruction of justice, inciting a riot, and conspiracy to commit a crime. If convicted, they could face up to 5 years in prison for each count. At least it's a summary. It's words, right? Again, the cases spark controversy and raise questions about free speech and police brutality. Same thing as last time. Many people believe that the charges against the activists are a violation of their First Amendment rights to free speech and
don't be rude.
You beat me to it. Others argue. Others argue that the flyers. Yeah, thanks. Others argue that the flyers were intended to incite violence and should not be protected under the First Amendment.
Oh my God! Words are violence. Words are violence.
Words are now violent.
Flyers are violent.
Others argue. Yes, it's usually the cops in this case, right? They're intended to incite violence. So some also question the trooper's actions and whether he used excessive force against the forest defender. I don't think anybody actually questions that. Unicorn Riot's great, KSW, by the way. Awesome. Indie Media Award. They covered Line 3, Line 5, protests. They've covered people being killed with unarmed stuff.
I started watching them with the Minnesota
Marvin Haynes,
Protests.
yeah. And George Floyd, years ago, they covered George Floyd like every day.
Yeah, that's
and
where
George
they got
Floyd trial. And
they were
and
in the police building when it was on fire. They were right in
crazy
it.
coverage. All right. And they've also gone, by the way, to Palestine, and they've covered the Israel-Palestine mess from the Palestinian side, which very few have. And they do really good in-depth work. Nico Georgiadis and the whole team over there, big shout out. Love what they do. For several years now, I've been watching what they do, and they're one of the best outlets out there, and they're totally independent. UnicornRiot.ninja is their website, and they're independent. They actually stream, and they can go completely independent of social media, and their articles are on their website. So, importance of free speech. You got police brutality and excessive force, which we know all about, and that they certainly do. And that it's up to the courts to determine whether the charges against the activists were a violation of their First Amendment rights. But there was actually a lot more that Unicorn Riot had, and that's why I want to showcase and contrast the difference. And now we're going to go to the Unicorn Riot story because they've got really good stuff. Okay. Unicorn Riot. All right. Three-faced felonies.
Go on.
This was by Ryan Fatica, who is a contributor. Again, no ads, paywalls,
Fatica.
totally viewer supported, the way we love it. Real news from real people that go out there and, their work stands on its own and they're getting help, from users and listeners.
Let's see who gets that reference in the chat.
Like Fatica, like Attica.
Yes. Yes.
Bartow County, Georgia. More than 3.5 months after Georgia State Patrol agents killed forest offender Tortuguita Esteban Paez Duran during a raid in the Weelaunee Forest. Weelaunee Forest, right?
Weelaunee.
Right.
Yep.
Officials still refuse to name the officers responsible for their death or take any steps toward bringing them to justice. So, what they first want to provide is that an update
swamp.
From an update that on May 15th.
Florida names are pretty good.
That's Okie dokie.
Georgia.
Yep.
Okefenokee. That's where the Swanee River starts.
Way down. Yes, R.I.P. Tort.
I live there.
On May 15th.
For years.
2 of the 3 arrested for allegedly flyering Trooper Jonathan Salcedo's neighborhood. Allegedly. Were granted a $20,000 bond in a bail hearing before Bartow County Superior Court Justice Suzanne Smith. That's according to court reporting by the Atlanta Community Press Collective. Their bond conditions are reported to include no contact with anyone involved with the Defend the Forest movement and no contact with the 6 state troopers implicated in Tehran's killing. The third arrestee was reportedly denied bond because Georgia Deputy State Attorney General John Fowler alleged that they had received reimbursements for protest-related expenses from the Forest Defense Fund and were being investigated for their alleged political affiliation with the Defend the Forest movement. That's insane.
Which isn't a terrorist organization.
That's insane. That's insane. So, after months of waiting, it appeared that activists and community members have been stepping up to provide transparency themselves. In late April, researchers with the Atlanta Community Press Collective released the names of 6 Georgia State Patrol SWAT agents believed to be involved in Tortuguita's killing. The officers' names are Rylan Myers, Jerry Parrish, Jonathan Salcedo, Mark Lamb, Ronaldo Kegel, and Royce Zah. The collective discovered the names, not Kegel. The collective discovered the names after receiving a GBI gunshot residue report.
Which came up negative, right?
Through a public records request to the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office.
Right. That's the one that came back.
On Tortuguita, yes, but I don't know about the one on the
officers.
On the officers themselves, or if it was ever ordered on them. On April 28th, 3 people were arrested in Bartow County, Georgia, for allegedly providing the public with information about the officers who killed him at the neighborhood level. The 3 accused are accused of distributing flyers naming one of his suspected killers, Jonathan Augusto Salcedo, who lives in a small bedroom community outside Cartersville named White, Georgia, which is
White, Georgia.
Funny.
Yep, I've been near there.
With intimidate law enforcement officer family in retaliation to discharge of duties by force, a felony, and misdemeanor stalking. During a bond hearing before Bartow County Magistrate Judge Brandon Bryson on last Monday, all three were refused bond and will continue to be held in a Bartow County jail. Now, again, 2 out of the 3 were released on $20,000 bond each, and the third one is still there. The felony intimidation charge carries a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, depending on which section of the statute prosecutors plan to apply. That part of the statute is specific to law enforcement officers, carries a minimum sentence of 1 year and a maximum sentence of 5 years, as well as a $5,000 fine, which I'm sure that guy does not have. These people do not have. So warrants filed in this case do not specify which section they're applying. The flyer the trio were accused of distributing printed information informing the neighbors that Salcedo had murdered Tortuguita, according to individuals familiar with its contents.
Yes,
what do you think of that?
Accurate.
Well, do we know that he specifically had, or that he well, we know he was one of the 6 that
Tell
were
me
named,
who did.
but, well, they can't, but
somebody's got to know.
Maybe. I don't know. But after the incident, he told prosecutors that he felt harassed and intimidated by individuals handing out these flyers, according to court documents.
One of those cops knows.
Right. So in criminal arrest
probably more
warrants,
than one.
Oh, I'm sure. Prosecutors accused all 3 arresters of providing flyers in the neighborhood that were claiming that he was a murderer due to an incident that occurred in Atlanta. His name is misspelled by prosecutors throughout the warrant, which is kind of funny. Secleto. I don't know if that's done intentionally. All right. But that's an actual document you can zoom through and zoom in and read yourself. But they also state that said accused was in the Highland Point neighborhood where Jonathan Salcedo resides and did knowingly, willfully, without consent, and with the purpose of harassing and intimidating him, make contact with individuals in his neighborhood through flyers with no legitimate purpose. Oh, I mean, to let people know that they had a killing cop and potentially a cop who potentially committed murder. That, I think if they had said allegedly or potentially, they might have gotten away with it, but immediately saying that...
Are they trying to libel case them, essentially? Is that what's happening?
Basically, I think that's what's going to end up happening. Well, they're going to say it was intimidating.
Even though they've not...
You can't prove that it was true.
Yeah, but they had to essentially... Right, you can't prove that it wasn't true.
Well, I don't think they have to prove that it wasn't true.
I think in this case you do, because they haven't proved that anyone did it.
I think that the burden of proof is on the person that's making the accusation.
Sure, but like that's to have a legal suit in this case, someone's got to. So, like it might force them to have an investigation regardless.
Yep. Maybe
if that's what they're going to do.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here, but whether those arrested did or did not have a legitimate purpose to be in his neighborhood, and whether informing neighbors that someone on their block killed someone is constitutionally protected speech. That's where you're going to have problems. Is you got First Amendment rights here.
Yep.
Now, the charges and continued incarceration of the 3 individuals maintain a pattern of Georgia law enforcement using increasingly brutal tactics against the people opposed to Cop City and participants in the movement to stop it, including charging 42 activists under a rarely used state domestic terrorism statute, as we covered extensively on here and on INN News. Until now, most of the repression against activists appears to be coordinated by the GBI, although the Federal Bureau of Investigation, of course, our friends over at the FBI, not really our friends, has also been involved in the ongoing investigation. They do great work. They're wonderful people, just wonderful. They never do wrong at all.
FBI,
Mm-hmm. Those arrested in Bartow County were interrogated by FBI officer David King, as well as an unknown GBI agent. That's normal. The three refused to give any information to the officers, according to the source with knowledge of the incident, which you should. The majority of the domestic terrorism warrants against Stop Cop City protesters or people allegedly involved in the movement have been signed by Special Agent Ryan Long, who appears to be heading the case for the GBI.
More also like Ryan Short. Am I right, ladies? Come on.
More like Ryan Schlong. In March, following a historic direct action, I guess we're 9. Following a historic direct action that targeted the construction site of the Cop City project, law enforcement arrested 23 individuals at a music festival, also taking place in the forest on the same day. We covered that too. Of those 23, 3 individuals remained in DeKalb County jail until earlier this week. Following preliminary hearings for all 3 on May 3rd, 1 was released on bond. 1 other individual who's released in January and charged with domestic terrorism for their alleged participation in the movement was also released from Fulton County Jail on Wednesday. And we are all forest defenders. That's a nice graphic right there. Right. The Forest Repression
and water
Atlanta,
defenders. And
you've got a Mass Defense Committee of National Lawyers Guild is making a statement here that the protest repression in Atlanta is one of many instances of the state deploying legally aggressive tactics to isolate, silence, and intimidate progressive activists. Yep. Right. Although the Bartow County incident called attention to State Trooper Salcedo, he is only one of 5 officers suspected in participating in the shooting death of Tortuguita. One of the other officers, Trooper Roy Zah, is currently being sued in federal court for suing Georgia State University journalism student Michaela Diet in the face with a plastic bullet during a May 29, 2020 George Floyd protest in Atlanta.
History of being a douchebag. Got it.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. And intimidating and shooting at journalists on top of it. Despite the fact that Miss Diet was not committing any crime and did not pose a threat, Trooper Zah fired a round from his FN Herstal 303 at her, striking her in the face just below her left eye.
Yep.
The polystyrene projectile shattered when it struck her face, causing extreme pain and damage to her face and eye. Plastic shards and bismuth pellets. Yep. From the projectile embedded in her facial tissue, she ran away, bleeding from her face and eye. The damage to her face and eye caused by his projectile has required her to undergo extensive medical procedures and has caused permanent facial disfigurement. Nice.
Yep.
That's 3 more people, now only 1 more, sit in Georgia County jails waiting to hear whether they'll be spending years of their lives in prison. It remains to be seen how far those in power will go to ensure that their increasingly unpopular vision for a cop city and the world it represents comes to fruition. The opposition, for their part, shows no signs of stopping.
But what about Timmy Kinnison?
Dude, what was up with that?
Oh, funny.
That is very funny. So, again, you see all the references, all the articles. These guys have been on the case. They're so good. UnicornRiot.ninja. Excellent outlet. One of my favorites.
Follow them on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already at Get Indie News.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
You know,
absolutely.
That's always useful to do.
Yeah, here you see Marvin Haynes rally demands his release from 19 years of wrongful imprisonment. I mean, they cover great stories. They really do. They also covered this is another one. If you ever really want to have your heart broken, this is a podcast series spotlighting mothers from across the United States whose children have been killed by police. You want to talk about gut-wrenching? And they literally made a podcast. I think it's 10-episode series. It's gut-wrenching. I get 5 minutes into it and I can't. It's all right. So shout out Fred Edward. What's going on? Old Man Barker. Hi everybody.
What's up, Fred Edward?
What's up? Say hi over on the Rockfins. Also rockfin.com/IND left news, rumble.com/C/independent left news. And are you fake views over there on Rumble? I think you're fake views. I think Reef thinks you're fake views.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Mother's podcast.
You are fake
okay.
news.
Well, I don't know if you are fake news, but Rumble
Wrong.
might. Well, I'm a little worried about Rumble.
Come on, man.
And I'm a little worried about their long-term plan. Now, if you haven't heard, Rumble actually acquired, but no, they didn't buy Colin. They bought Colin. Like Colin. No, they didn't buy, no. Yes, they acquired Colin from David Sachs. David Sachs and the incubator. I think they paid about 12 or 13 million for it. And what they are saying is that Call-In is going to end up becoming a content platform distribution hub for Locals Rumble and their podcast stuff, which is what Call-In basically is.
Doctor.
Fake news.
Doctor.
Fake news.
Doctor.
Doctor. Sure glad I'm not sick.
Doctor.
I'm glad I'm not sick. Okay. Here's another one where they tried to hedge. Another one. They tried to hedge and kind of corporate media this and soften the blow on how monstrous and pathetic and awful this merger might be. But Kroger and Albertsons.
How about you?
Right. The grocery industry is no stranger to mergers and acquisitions, but the potential merger between two major supermarket chains has raised concerns among consumers and advocates alike.
What is that merger from? Is that from the that's where he's with the Japanese business guy, isn't he? Merger.
No, I think that's actually from the Will Ferrell movie where they do the merger with the ABA. The merger. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's it.
Albertsons is one of the largest grocery chains in the U.S. with over 2,200 stores across 33 states. That's kind of powerful. The company operates under several banners, including Safeway, Vons, and Jewel Osco. Sprouts Farmers Market, on the other hand, is a smaller chain with around 360 stores in 23 states. The company focuses on natural and organic products. And it's been growing rapidly in recent years. What a surprise. Yay, more corporate consolidation. Yeah, that's right. So if the merger were to go through, it would create a grocery giant with over 2,500 stores and over $60 billion in annual revenue. They also acquired Safeway and they merged with Kroger, and this is just another one. So another one. And yeah, that's actually interesting because this is not Sprouts. They're talking about Kroger merging. So this thing again got it wrong.
Got it wrong, dude. It's so bad.
It's terrible.
It's real bad.
Right? This would give them significant bargaining power with suppliers and potentially allow them to lower prices for consumers. No, they're not. However, critics argue that the merger could also lead to reduced competition and fewer choices for consumers, particularly in areas where Albertsons and Sprouts have a strong presence. Again, Sprouts. I don't know who Sprouts is.
Sprouts.
Right?
Bean Sprouts.
Another concern is the impact the merger could have on workers. The two companies have different labor practices, with Albertsons being unionized and Sprouts being non-union. If the two companies were merged, it could lead to job losses.
Seems like a thing you get your kids into when you want them to be vegan. You put them in Sprouts. They get little vegan patches.
Eat your Brussels sprouts and your bean sprouts.
Right.
The proposed merger could also have an impact on the communities where Albertsons and Sprouts operate. Both companies have a strong presence in certain regions, and the loss of competition could result in higher prices for consumers. That's what it says. Before it said reduce prices. There it says higher prices, and that's what they're going to go for because monopoly doesn't result in lower prices. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew, right? Advocates are also concerned about the impact of smaller independent grocery stores that may struggle to compete with a larger, more powerful chain. Hello, Walmart. There's your artwork. Merger. The merger. Merger. And there's some great artwork. I'll bring it up. The proposed merger between Albertsons and Sprouts, like you said, has raised a number of concerns. This is very corporate-y, Hey, and how about that? We actually have merch. So I just want you to know we have merch. We haven't shown any of the merch slides tonight, so we still have merch. independentleft.shop, or you can go to INN merch.
Take my money.
INNmerch.com also works that way. So now that we've gone through the summary, I'm going to show you that it's a Bean Boy article. Slideshow off. Thank you. And now we're going to go back to our article here. All right. So, hey now, you're an all-star. Slideshow on. Now we're cooking.
On.
Go play. All right. So,
played.
Our friends over at Popular Information, how a grocery store mega merger could cost workers millions. Come on. Thank you. This was our friends over at Popular Information, popular.info. Give them a sub, give them a follow, hook them up. On Twitter, it's actually at Judd Legum. It's his full name.
Kroger. Bean Boy.
So I figured out what the purple check is, and it's tens of
does he have one of these?
Of paid subs. And no, he does not.
Does he have one of those?
He does not.
Okay.
I love him, but he does not, because I think he got COVID a little.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And he definitely got J6.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And he's focused. And look, I really agree with his watchdog, and he goes after the money, but he's certainly one-sided. I don't ever see him really mention a Democrat that does anything wrong, unless they're really, really corporate. Yeah, well, I'm just calling it like I see it.
I calls it like I sees it.
He's also an original Substacker, and I give him a lot of credit, and I love him for that, and appreciate all that he's put in to making Substack the platform that it is today, because I think that he was one of the innovators and pioneers that they were listening to, because he had rapid growth. Again, tens of thousands of paid subscribers, which means that he's making somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 a month minimum just on Substack. And that's really his primary source of income. He's hired two people, though.
Mimimu?
Yeah, Mimimu. So, pretty impressive. But, okay, so this is our not friend.
Only
Rodney.
me and you are going to know that, because you never showed Mimimu.
Now you're going to make me show Mimimu?
No, it's okay.
I'm going to put it over your face,
It's okay.
Mimimu.
Can I scroll through the article and read? October 2022, Kroger, the nation's largest supermarket chain, reached an agreement to purchase Albertsons, the nation's second largest supermarket chain, in a deal valued at $25 billion. Albertsons itself acquired another major competitor, Safeway, in 2015 for $9.2 billion. The deal, which is subject to review by the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, would create a grocery behemoth that would operate 5,000 stores in 48 states. Kroger is seeking to close the transaction in 2024.
Now, tell me where slideshow... Wait, stop. Tell me where that slideshow actually said anything about Safeway, 5,000 stores,
it didn't.
48 states.
It picked words, dude, and put it together. That's why I was like, are you sure you want to... Like, we're dumb. We're not going to know where it's wrong. Like...
What the hell is
Thus far,
this?
most of the regulatory scrutiny is focused on the possibility that reduced competition would mean higher grocery prices for shoppers, but a report released this month by the Economic Policy Institute, where the EPI reveals that the deal could have a major impact on the wages of grocery store workers. According to the EPI report, the proposed merger would reduce the number of outside employment options available to workers, lowering grocery store workers' annual wages by a total of $334 million. Okay, so that works out to about $450 less annually per worker, which is a significant reduction for a workforce already hovering at or below the poverty line. So yeah, they're just giving them less money. Hey, look, it's Sprouts.
That's our Sprouts.
It's Sprouts. You got Mimimu?
I'm looking for Mimimu.
Okay.
I think I might have to go to the website to get to the Mimimu.
Okay, close Sprouts.
Oh, you need to read, right?
Yeah. And then scroll.
Yeah. Poverty line.
One more. Yep. EPI report is based on a recent wave of economic research that has called attention to potential damages to workers' bargaining power over wages stemming from concentration in labor markets. Fundamentally, workers, why do they bracket that? Ability to negotiate better pay and working conditions rest on their capability.
Was
their
it
capacity.
originally?
Orkers. No, that's what we're playing World of Warcraft, bro. My orker character has got a capacity to switch jobs. When you reduce the number of employers offering similar jobs, grocery store workers' earnings will fall as a result. Can someone please make me like an orc union?
Orkers.
Like, can that be a thing? Like in Lord of the Rings? Meat's back on the menu, but I gotta have better wages. Yeah, orkers. Collectively, Kroger and Albertsons employ 1/4 of all grocery workers nationwide. The EPI report looks specifically at the impact of this reduced bargaining power. Workers could also suffer from job cuts or store closures. Okay, according to the report, the merger would lower wages for 746,000 grocery store workers.
That's not so much.
This impact would be, yeah, that's just almost $500,000 or more. 3/4. Yeah. 3/4 of a mil. This impact would be felt in 55 metropolitan areas where both Kroger and Albertsons currently operate stores. Notably, it would not just be Kroger workers that are impacted since the merger reduces competition across the industry. It would lower wages for all grocery workers in affected areas. Yeah, so this is straight up monopoly shit. It's like terrible. EPI's analysis finds that if the merger is approved, workers from coast to coast will lose millions in annual earnings. Yeah. Where do you think that money's going to be going? EPI? Where do you think? Ugh. Scroll.
Oh. Yeah, here's where it's going to go.
Look at this graph.
Look at this graph.
It's not a graph. It's just lots of numbers. Kroger and Albertsons facing increasing concerns about reduced wages and other concerns have launched a campaign to highlight the benefits of the merger to the public. If the FTC moves to block the merger, Kroger and Albertsons have pledged to fight for the merger in court. Of course, they're like, we're going to do what we want. We don't care.
Yeah.
They got enough money to pay for lawyers.
Whatever.
Earlier this month, the biggest union of grocery store workers announced its opposition to the Kroger and Albertsons merger. Delegates representing the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union unanimously voted to oppose the merger and other mergers that oppose the threat to essential workers, their families, and their communities they serve. UFCW International workers, which represents 1.3 million members overall, represents around 350,000 Kroger and Albertsons employees already, nearly half the workers that would be employed under the merger. In a statement, the UFCW president, Mark Perrone, said for months the UFCW has called for transparency, engage independent experts, and assess the publicly available information on this proposed merger to determine the widespread impact it will have on our members and the communities they serve. Given the lack of transparency and the impact a merger between two of the largest supermarket companies could have on essential workers and the communities and customers they serve, the UFCW stands united in its opposition to the proposed Kroger and Albertsons merger, Perrone said, stating that mergers pose a serious threat to the livelihoods of our members and we must act to confront them. According to the Wall Street Journal, Kroger said it would continue discussions with the UFCW about the merger's benefits and the divestiture plan.
Yeah. That's where they have to get rid of stores. Way worse. They have to get rid of stores because there's a monopoly in a certain area.
Just because.
Or just because.
Meanwhile, the UFCW plans to discuss its concerns with legislators and the Federal Trade Commission.
All right.
This is essentially
here's
Mimamoo.
Which we're going to get to later, but that's the raise the Mimamoo wage.
Mimamoo. This is essentially, we've been covering this for a minute and we've known this is going to be a thing.
Right.
So for the union to just be like, we got to do something. Bro, you've been having to do something.
So about 2 weeks ago, Kroger CEO Rodney Dangerfield McMullen. Okay. Egg McMuffin, and Albertson CEO Vivek Sankaran, and a joint op-ed in the Cincinnati Enquirer that purported to dispel several myths about the merger, right? So first, the CEOs claimed that Kroger committed to zero store closures as a result of the merger. Hi, Jesse. And the company will invest in stores post-merger. Sure they will. And of course they will. This is a promise made in an op-ed and is not legally binding. Yep, of course. Statement allows Kroger to complete the merger, wait a few weeks or months, then close any number of stores for any reason. CEOs note that we anticipate divesting or selling some stores to satisfy regulatory concerns about competition. Section 7 of the Clayton Antitrust Act, which is enforced by the FTC, prohibits acquisitions that substantially lessen competition in any line of commerce. Right, so this approach has backfired in the past. So in order to secure approval, its acquisition of Safeway, listen to this story. Albertsons agreed to divest 168 stores. They were purchased by Hagen, which is a much smaller competitor, for $1.4 billion. Much smaller. They could afford $1 billion. But the stores that are divested are seldom top performers, of course. So Hagen was unable to successfully operate locations. And after a few months after acquiring all those stores, declared bankruptcy. Thanks. Ultimately, it sold 29 of those stores right back to Albertsons, and others were closed entirely. So, yeah, thanks. They just got it off their books, they got it off their hands, and then bought it back on the cheap. Second, the CEOs claim that no frontline workers will be laid off as a result of the merger. That's not true. Nothing about this pledge is enforceable. It notably allows for layoffs of workers that are not considered frontline, a term that is undefined. The vagueness and the sliminess of all of this. The CEOs also say they're committed to protecting and expanding opportunities for union jobs, but no guarantee that it won't sell unionized stores to anti-union companies as part of the planned divestment. Amazon, which is one of the few companies in the industries with the resources to buy hundreds of large grocery stores, is notoriously hostile to unions, and I think we've covered that pretty extensively. The way Amazon has tried to treat worker unions, both at its warehouses and as well as at Whole Foods and at all of the restaurants and everywhere else that it owns and controls that have tried to organize. The airline pilots, for example, I mean, the airline workers, I know were just recently doing something. But finally, the CEOs say the merger will result in lower prices because lowering prices is part of Kroger's business strategy. I can't even get through that
Mastermind
sentence.
Hour in the chat. Rodney canned me after he closed one of our stores.
Yep. Well, that's the other thing, is that's nothing is stopping them from actually just shuttering any store that they know is going to be
Any store they want,
including all the union ones. But there's no real explanation for why it would lower prices in a less competitive environment. In June 2021, McMullen talked about his plan to exploit inflation to raise prices and increase profits. Ugh, this one. Here's like literally Dr. Evil shit. A little bit of inflation is always good in our business.
A little bit.
Historically, grocery store mergers have resulted in higher prices. An influential 2008 study found that in 4 of 5 mergers they evaluated, grocery prices appear to have increased between 3 and 7%. Just look at the numbers.
Already,
consolidation
already at an all-time high.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, and it's got 68 comments, 69, dude. 339 likes, 25 restacks. Restack is, by the way, over on Substack Notes. Check out Substack Notes. Big fan.
It's very nice.
It is very nice. And you can see a news feed of everyone that's out there. You can, just the people that you're subscribed to. I can see all of the people that are subscribed to my newsletter, and that is its own feed. And then because I am a premium subscriber to Popular Info, I can see all the people who subscribe to Popular Info. Oh yeah. For $50 a year, I absolutely support what Judd is doing and have for a long time.
Shut up and take my money.
Well, $50 a year is not that much, and Yeah. Brad, what's up? The Snow Himbo is here and in the house, everyone. All right. So that's my Substack notes. All right. So, hi, everybody. 32 watching. We are holding steady and firm. We love that. Thank you. Good to see everyone tonight. All right. We got 2 more stories to go. And this is fun. So what we've been doing for anyone that hasn't been here already is that we are going through this slideshow app that I found online, an AI slideshow creator, that you load an article and it will generate a 5 or 6 slideshow that is very corporate-y and businessy, try to summarize it and provide you with some kind of an idea of what the hell this thing is about. And what we found is that there have been wild inconsistencies so far, and some that were somewhat decent, but propaganda, getting facts completely wrong. It attributed a news reporter to someone who doesn't even exist. Apparently. That's crazy. Timmy Kinnison, whoever you are, Timmy Kinnison, raise your hand and say hi.
Was it Timmy W. Kinnison? Wasn't that
Timmy
it?
W. Kinnison. Okay, so this is our friend, another Indie Media Award honoree, Kevin Gosztola, over at the Dissenter. This is a crazy story, and I really did not see anybody cover this. All right, next. Sorry, that's classified. So what happened? The Classification Reform Bill is a proposed legislation that seeks to give the president and security agencies more power to maintain secrets. The bill's been met with mixed reactions, with some arguing that it's necessary for national security, while others believe that it's a threat to democracy. I don't know about democracy, but definitely freedom.
Yeah.
The bill proposes to amend the current classification system, which classifies information as either top secret, secret, or confidential. It seeks to introduce a new category of protected information, which would be subject to even stricter controls and limited access. Yikes. So proponents of the bill argue that it's necessary for national security and to protect sensitive information from falling into the wrong hands. Not necessarily wrong. They point out that the current classification system is outdated, which it is, and does not adequately protect against modern threats such as cyber attacks. It does not. They also argue that the bill includes provisions for the increased oversight and accountability to ensure that the new powers are not abused. This includes regular reporting requirements and the establishment of an independent review board to oversee the classification process. More bureaucracy. Yay! Just what we needed, right?
Yay.
So opponents of the bill argue that it's a threat to democracy and could be used to suppress free speech and dissent. Yes. They point out that the new protected category of information is vaguely defined and could be used to classify information that should be available to the public. Yes, wrong hands meaning Biden's garage. Or at the University of Delaware, let's release Tara Reade's records. They also argue that the increased powers given to the president and security agencies could be abused, particularly in the absence of adequate oversight. This could lead to a situation where the government is able to suppress information that's embarrassing or inconvenient rather than truly sensitive. Do I hear Julian Assange? Yes, well, it's of course being written by Gosztola. One of the major concerns with the Classification Reform Bill is its potential impact on whistleblowers. The bill includes provisions for increased penalties for leaking classified information, which could deter individuals from coming forward with the evidence of wrongdoing. What a surprise. This could have serious implications for accountability and transparency, as whistleblowers play an important role in exposing corruption and abuse of power. They at least have that much right. Critics argue that the bill could be used to silence those who seek to hold the government accountable. That's pretty much a good summary. That the classification also has international implications. So this was also a nice look that nobody really, I hadn't thought about when I first thought about this. I was really thinking about how it applied domestically, but particularly in terms of intel sharing between countries. That some critics involved with the bill, some critics argue that the bill could damage relationships with key allies by limiting the amount of info that can be shared. But others point out that the bill could be seen as hypocritical, given that the U.S. government's criticism of other countries for their lack of transparency and respect for human rights. Again, Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. This could damage the country's reputation and undermine its ability to promote democracy and freedom around the world. Okay.
Yeah, dude, this thing's awful.
Yep. Well, what do you think? It's clearly written by an American. So yeah, it's bad. So let's go back to me and Reef, and let's go to the actual Gosztola article, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was yikes! That one was pretty bad." So let's go back.
I've yet to see a good one. Like,
okay, so it would give them even more power to maintain secrets, support the dissenter if you can. It's like $10 a month or less. But then for decades, right? Congress has allowed the White House and the wider executive branch to assert control over classified information. I think a lot of this is also in response to what happened with Trump, not just with Jack Teixeira and the Discord leaks and a bunch of these leaks that have come out, but members of Congress have been complicit when it comes to a system that classifies more than 50 million documents a year, which is a benefit for institutions in a national security state that are dependent on secrecy. Right? But a group of U.S. senators unveiled legislation on May 10th of this year that they claim will significantly deal with government secrecy and reform the classification process. But a closer read of the proposed legislation, and here is a link to the PDF in the article, suggests that if changes were adopted, power would further be entrenched in the hands of the U.S. president and security agencies. Changes would only address the problem cosmetically, which is exactly what Democrats like to do.
Like in the South, that would be called putting lipstick on a pig. I don't know why they call it that, but they do.
Well,
and I think that says more about the South than the South would like to admit.
Yeah. So under the Classification Reform Act of 2023, which is, of course, the opposite of what it seeks to do, the head of the Office of the DNI would be designated an executive agent for classification and declassification, and they would be responsible for developing technical solutions for automating declassification, and they would direct resources for the development, coordination, and implementation of a federal classification and declassification system for government records. That doesn't sound too frightening that one person would be in charge of that. The head of the Office of the DNI. Crab. Welcome, Crab. I see somebody's dropping crabs in there, Fred.
I don't see him. I was looking. But
I don't know.
I saw a little crab rave going on.
The bill would establish an executive committee on classification programs and declassification programs that included head of the ODNI, Undersecretary of Defense for Intel, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of State, Director of National Declassification Center. Would be pretty important to include. The Director of Information Security Oversight Board, the Director of OMB, and any other individuals that the head of ODNI believes should serve on the committee. That makes it kind of broad.
Hey, we use different words than that now. We don't call it broads anymore.
Right.
All right.
Additionally, it states, the president shall establish procedures for declassifying information that was previously classified. Oh, Trump would have had a field day with this. Categories for the classification and declassification of information would be determined by the president. Why are they doing this a year before they're about to lose the White House? There would even be a process for reclassification of information where the president and security agencies could claw back information that was already released to the public if they determined that reclassification was required to prevent significant and demonstrable damage to the national security.
So that's if we put out
that's
like
Nord Stream. That's Nord Stream.
Or Kennedy, or I mean any of the stuff that might have been declassified recently.
Oh, we got a patron? Corn Pop was a bad dude. Oh, we love Poppy around here. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. Nice. That's great. If somebody signed up, thank you. Patreon.com/Indie News Network.
Was a bad dude.
Thank you. So, again, leaving it up to
ran a bunch of bad boys.
Yeah. We know, Joe. Any legislation that further cements the power the president and the DNI have over classified information will make it harder to deal with rampant secrecy. Yeah. Presently, DNI Avril Haines, oh God, has won support from senators by acknowledging that overclassification of information poses a threat to national security as well as democracy, but ODNI may not always be led by someone open to taking responsibility for secrecy. It's also unclear what Haynes has done to meaningfully break with the status quo. The answer is that's why she's there.
Oh no, I avrilled my Haynes.
God. The EFF sued the U.S. government to force the release of classified rulings from the Foreign Intelligence Service Court, a surveillance court, that would show how the court interprets key provisions of the laws that authorize mass surveillance. Shout out to the EFF. We covered one of their articles a couple weeks ago. Congress mandated the disclosure of the decisions when the USA Freedom Act was passed in 2015, but the government refused to release the opinions. It was not until August 2022 that ODNI under Haynes released the documents. That was that wonderful Trump administration. And then again, you've got 2 years into the Biden administration, too. It's on both sides. Biden is blue Trump. He is blue Trump, folks, in so many ways. Even then, the decisions were heavily redacted. What a surprise. EFF noted, redactions make understanding the importance of some of the newly released opinions difficult. That's kind. Yep. The automatic declassification of opinions from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, or FISA court, might be expected under the proposed legislation, yet one can imagine Haynes and others in U.S. national security agencies frustrating efforts to declassify opinions that might open agencies up to scrutiny when it comes to mass surveillance. Of course.
Pause. So this is saying that FISA court documents, which journalists use to out particular entities all the time, right, could be reclassified.
Correct.
Therefore, they could literally come after the journalist who published them.
For publishing classified information.
Right, at least to unpublish it. And it's like you can't unpublish it. Like you can't, you know what I mean?
Well,
like it's out, it exists. Right. You know?
Well, their answer is well, you have to get every copy and burn it.
Okay. What, you're gonna make like
Wayback Machine?
Like, you got to go steal people's memories? Okay. You know, I mean, this is essentially like, you know, oh yeah, don't worry about that Oliver North thing. We reclassified that. Just forget about that.
Right.
You know?
Or these Trump documents that were sitting in there in his house. We've now reclassified them, and they are top secret versus declassified. Yep. And now he's under investigation for taking classified documents out of the White House. Yep, something like that. Yep, it's draconian. It's gross. Okay, so the McCarran Internal Security Act of 1950 tinkered with and expanded the Espionage Act, and the Intel Identities Protection Act was passed in 1982 to criminalize the unauthorized disclosure of any information that could lead to the identification of covert agents or intel sources. In both of those instances, Congress did not attempt to curtail the executive branch's ability to keep information classified. Senators and representatives were instead concerned with threats to the government's ability to protect state secrets. Well, they were all really on the same team then, too. I mean, that was the case from 2010 to 2013 when WikiLeaks published documents from Chelsea Manning and The Guardian, and other media outlets published the documents from Edward Snowden. Congress was focused on giving security and military agencies the tools they needed to identify insider threats and prevent leaks. Well, I know Obama was famous for like trying to keep a tight lid on any leaks and any discussion of what the hell was going on behind the scenes. Congress could try to wrest control the president has over classified information. They could try to wrest it away. The Congressional Research Service noted in February 2023 that the Supreme Court has never settled the question of whether Congress may check the power of the president when it comes to government secrecy. So, independent of the president, the Atomic Energy Act, how the hell are they pulling this, was passed by Congress in 1946 to create a regime for protecting nuclear-related restricted data. This is where they're coming up with that restricted nonsense, right? Congress could create a similar but more ambitious system for declassification, which they could, but the classification reform proposed by senators avoids any confrontation with the White House that might spark accusations that Congress is interfering with the power of the president. It also skirts any conflict with U.S. intel agency chiefs. It doesn't even put anybody from the Senate or any of the intel committees on any of those committees that they're looking to create. This is really draconian. Again, crazy. But welcome to the Biden administration and the Uniparty. Right? The National Security Council, which advises the president on security and foreign policy, would likely play a big role in determining the categories of information that should be declassified. That makes sense. The council is made up of the VP, Secretary of State, SecDef, Secretary of Energy, Treasury, Attorney General, Secretary of Homeland Security, Ambassador to the UN, the Administrator for the for USA, that's Samantha Power, oh God, the White House Chief of Staff, White House National Security Advisor, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is a military advisor. So again,
the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
No Senate or House representation at all. Two of those individuals, the Secretary of State and Energy, would also sit on the Executive Committee for Classification and Declassification of Information. So they're going to have the ability to classify things they consider to be inconvenient or potentially damaging or criminal activity exposed by the United States that the United States was committee. Yep. It's unlikely that this executive committee would ever challenge the advisors for the national security state who directly influence the president's decisions because they're part of the web of secretive intelligence and military institutions that maintain databases filled with billions of secrets, as we know. So if it's passed, it might contain a reclassification process, as we said, that would present transparency and open government advocates with an easy way for bureaucrats to undermine everything legislation is intended to do. Matthew Aid uncovered a secret reclassification program in 2006 that he detailed in a report for National Security Archive at GWU. You can read all about that. This happened because Bill Clinton signed an executive order related to classified national security information that required U.S. agencies to declassify all of their historical records that were 25 years old or older by the end of 1999, except for those documents that fell within certain specified exempt categories of records, like the Kennedy assassinations, or such as documents relating to intel sources and methods, cryptology, or war plans still in effect.
Cryptology.
Right.
Which is the study of code.
Right. Well, we don't want to let our foreign nations know how we do it.
Yeah, know how we encrypt.
Even though they all have been able to get into all of it, and especially the Israelis.
AI stuff is the next thing with that.
The CIA, our friends, not so friends over at the CIA, and various other U.S. intel agencies resisted procedures requiring the mandatory release of information. What a surprise! Together, the most influential parts of the national security state united to convince National Archives that thousands of records should never have been disclosed to the public. What a shock! Such an episode could easily happen again if Congress includes a provision establishing the reclassification of records. We just talked about that. Like the Clinton executive order, the bill would instruct agencies to automatically declassify information 25 years after the date it was marked classified. But on top of that, there are sections that allow the president to postpone the release of records. And he'd be able to postpone the declassification after something has been declassified for 25 years for up to 10 additional years.
Yep.
That postponement could be applied to a record that's over 50 years old, like many of the files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy that are still classified. And we're still trying to get access to those. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if it was us who did it.
It was the CIA.
I don't know.
Senator Ron Wyden who is one of the senators who unveiled the legislation, is correct that far too many records are classified. Something has to be done to deal with the problem. However, the solution cannot possibly be empowering the president and the very agencies that have thrived off government secrecy so they have more control over when they relinquish control over information. Congress has to carve out a bigger role for itself, or, as Joe Biden loves to say, nothing will fundamentally change. That's exactly as the Democrats intended, folks.
Come on, man.
It's working as planned. So, fun.
You know the thing.
No, I don't know the thing, and you don't either. So,
it's the only way.
Oh,
you
God.
can find room to pay for it.
A Democrat. Oh, that's such a. What's the what? I don't even remember which Jesse song that is.
That's
that has
the secret.
Biden. Yeah, that's the secret. I came to represent. Dude, that's great, dude. Shout out Jesse Jet. We love you, Jesse Jet. Anyway, so we got one more story. Okay, we're at 11:30. Oh, one more. Okay, short one. And we're gonna raise the wage, but we're gonna first go to our slides and check out what did the Mimimoo wage. That's right. This one, and I want to show the beautiful thumbnail that our lovely director, Mr. Big Mad Crab, had for this one. Mimimoo, raise the wage. I don't really like that he's wearing a mask at this point, but okay, that's fair. Louisiana is one of the poorest states in the U.S. with a high poverty rate and low wages. State's minimum wage is at $7.25 an hour. The federal minimum wage, which has not been raised, which we know, since 2009.
Yep.
Right. Despite its efforts by Democrats to raise the minimum wage, Republicans in Louisiana have opposed such measures, arguing that it would hurt businesses and lead to job losses. However, as the state's economy struggles and voters become more supportive of higher wages, the minimum wage issue is becoming a liability for Republicans. Good.
It's all about geometry.
Low wages have had a negative impact on the state's economy. Like it's saying, it just keeps repeating how bad things are, and that Louisiana is a deeply conservative state. Go figure. With Republicans holding a supermajority in the state legislature and all statewide elected offices. However, recent polls have shown that a majority of Louisiana voters support raising the minimum wage. That's great. A majority of them also support Medicare for all, but that's not happening. This puts Republicans in a difficult position. Not really, until people stop voting for them, as they must balance their opposition to government intervention in the economy with the need to appeal to voters who are struggling to make ends meet. Not really. They just give them the finger and do it anyway. So it's becoming increasingly clear that the minimum wage issue is not going away anytime soon. That's nice. All right, so the slideshow is kind of weak, as I mentioned. Truthout, Mike Ludwig did this article. Let's go back to Truthout, and we have 4 days left in our fundraiser here. But Republicans are stubbornly defending $7.25 an hour in a state where more than 1 in 4 children live in poverty. They didn't put that in the slideshow. That was kind of important. Again, Truthout, they are an Indie Media Award honoree, even though they are a little weak on COVID and similarly, but you do awesome work on union specifically. Sharon Zhang, yes, coffee. Need coffee. Need a shot. May 11th saw a surprise in Louisiana legislature, where lawmakers advanced a bill that would raise the wage floor for the first time since Congress set the federal minimum wage at $7.25. Advocates and Democrats in the minority propose a wage hike during every legislative session, but a bill hasn't made it to the floor in years. But 2 Republicans on the state labor committee abstained from the vote, allowing Democrats a 3-2 majority to approve the bill along party lines. Of course, it's going to fail in the House, but the bill would raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour in 2024 and $14 by 2028. Still inadequate. In Louisiana, $18 an hour is considered a living wage for an adult living with another working adult and 1 child, according to the data crunchers at the MIT. More than 1 in 4 children live in poverty in Louisiana, where Black organizers and economic justice groups have campaigned to raise the minimum wage for years. Like other red states, a law originally crafted by Republicans and business interests blocks individual cities from raising the minimum wage within their borders, even as inflation and an affordable housing crisis put the cost of living out of reach for many families. It's called gentrification, folks. Then they buy up all that property cheap, renovate it, and rent it out to and sell it to higher income people. Democratic voter power is concentrated in majority black cities such as New Orleans and Baton Rouge, but state preemption prevents local leaders from raising the minimum wage and setting other labor conditions. That power instead rests with the GOP-dominated legislature, which is the only entity that can put the question to voters. Louisiana is one of 24 states that does not allow citizens to collect signatures to put a referendum on the ballot. So we've talked about ballot measures pretty often here. I know our friend Roger Meadows talks about ballot measures all the time. Unfortunately, Louisiana doesn't allow you to have ballot measures, at least that are done through signatures and through petition. However, which is interesting, Louisiana's right-wing legislature routinely blocks the annual efforts by Democrats to raise the minimum wage in a state that's infamous for deep inequality, forced labor in prisons, and the mass incarceration of black people. Racial justice advocates say keeping the wage floor stuck in the federal basement is part and parcel to an economic and political system that's maintained a pool of cheap or free black labor since the abolition of slavery. Yep. Now, come on,
Angola's literally a plantation.
Come on. Right? Despite clearing the committee, Louisiana's minimum wage bill still faces a steep climb to the desk of Governor John Bel Edwards, a conservative Democrat who supported a wage increase for years, but Republicans hold a supermajority in the state's legislature's lower chamber, where a committee rejected companion legislation earlier this month. What a surprise. But that didn't stop lawmakers from giving themselves a raise. Douchebags. Only one day earlier, the same committee approved a bill that would raise their own salaries to 75% of the state's median income, or about $40,000 a year. But they won't raise the minimum wage beyond $7.25 an hour. Under a GOP supermajority, all Democrats could do was point out the irony. Quote, if we feel the people who are making these laws should get $40,000, then why can't we give poor folks $10 an hour? That's what Kenny Cox argued at the time. Yeah. In Congress, gaslighting bullshit Bernie Sanders is championing a bill to raise the federal minimum wage to $17, exactly when he knows it will never happen, which would have a big impact on Louisiana and the 19 other mostly red states where the federal minimum wage remains the law of the land. A handful of Democrats sided with Republicans to block an increase to $15 an hour in 2021, despite polls showing broad public support, and Sanders is determined to put fellow lawmakers on the record again before 2024 elections. You mean something like a force the vote?
Force the vote.
You know, you got to force the vote.
You hate it, but it's stuck in your head, isn't it?
Terrible. I fucking hate it so much. It's so awful and cheesy and corny. Thank you, Steph Samarano. It's her fault. It's her fault. Because she played it like endlessly on that show, it felt like. Like at the end of every show. Yes, Steph.
Seriously? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. In a recent op-ed, Sanders admits that even $17 an hour is not a living wage enough to afford basic living costs such as food and rent in many parts of the United States. Yes, in Louisiana...
won't fucking stop.
I know, seriously. In Louisiana, $34 is considered a living wage for a single mother with one child, but the average retail worker makes $13.50 an hour. Yeah, that's close. So it is not radical to suggest that raising the minimum wage to $17 an hour over a period of several years is the right thing to do.
Not radical.
It's not radical. It's weak as shit, and it's totally inadequate. And you're starting your negotiating from a losing point. Thanks, Bernie.
We've covered this before on INN News. Colin did a whole rant about this. People should look up.
Absolutely.
And he tied it to what actually living wages are in even the poorest states that barely meets, if at all. Like,
Oh, it should be at least 25 to 30 an hour at this point.
Or 30. 30.
Yep.
Like if it's tied to inflation, you're like
that's $1,200 a week. That's
right.
Mm-hmm. It's not a whole lot of money.
Like pay
before
people
taxes.
actual living wages.
Whoever. They don't give a fuck about us. That's right. They don't. Thanks to inflation and congressional inaction, the minimum wage has now has less purchasing power than at any point in time since 1956, according to the EPI, who I don't always trust their numbers either. But when Congress fails to raise the federal minimum wage, despite skyrocketing cost of living, the job falls on state and local governments. At least 30 states and 50 cities and counties have raised the minimum wage past $7.25. Seattle's up to like $17 or $18 an hour themselves. And it has not hurt their businesses, by the way.
What was it? I think it was for a UBI. I think it was Sweden that was looking at something like 4,000 a month. Was it not? And that was a while ago. They did their studies on that a while ago of like, what would people actually need to survive monthly? You know, like, and that was a fairly high cost country in Europe to live in, but granted, if you asked Americans like what they actually needed per month, 4,000 is pretty close or more.
Oh no, you need more.
I mean,
that's without having any children.
I mean, depending, right?
And
but we actually covered what
child care
it was.
Is outrageously expensive.
Had medical stuff is ridiculous.
Health insurance, right, and an increase in costs in medical, everything. So Republicans often argue that raising the floor past $7.25 would hurt small businesses, which they often claim do not pay the minimum to anyone besides teenagers working a summer job, which, however, lower wage workers of all ages are 46% more likely to make less than $15 an hour in the 20 states that rely on the federal minimum. What a surprise. Recent research has found that wage hikes are not job killers as opponents often claim. In Louisiana, advocates hope that debate over the minimum wage bill in the Senate will reveal cracks in the opposition. You've got Ben Zucker from Step Up Louisiana. He pointed to a 2019 statewide survey, that 81% of Louisianans approved an increase of $8.50. Oh my God, we're still talking about less than $10 an hour. Like, guys,
even in that state, the cost of living is like
negotiating with yourselves.
Yeah.
Republicans usually kill wage bills in committee to avoid going on the record and angering voters.
So why not ask for like a lot? If it's going to be performative, perform to the moon.
Right. I think it's unclear here that the real piece is that the state elections next year loom large over how people are voting in the session. People don't pay a close enough attention. But
this was a state that at one point was willing to have things like share your wealth clubs in regards to Huey P. Long, who went and, what happened to him? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yep.
I remember. There's a bullet hole in a courtroom somewhere.
Federal government doesn't like that. There's no way you wake up every morning and say minimum wage is the best way to live. Absolutely not, says David Williams, right? So we always talk about making changes about how we make that change now. Yeah, that would be nice. Make that change now. Mike Ludwig is one of these staff reporters over, and he's based in New Orleans. So this is personal for him. Give him a follow at Ludwig_Mike. I also, it's a horrible, horrible, monstrous story, and it's really short, but I saw it. We talked about McDonald's in Kentucky a couple of weeks ago and employing
and the child labor law.
These child labor laws, yeah. And now it's
and yet Hezbollah still can't get a gig.
And now it apparently has hit where was I seeing Popeyes in Oakland, California?
Yep.
Again, workers are on strike, and I don't have the article in front of me, but the workers are on strike because they were employing under 18 workers who were working 6 days a week to as late beyond 11 p.m., 13-year-olds operating the fryer. Like, guys, this is what they're doing. Diggs over on the Twitch. What's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks for checking it out. We are just about done with our stories, and we are going over toward our favorite segment, which is Reef's going to take over, and we're going to do a little boats smashing into other boats, and we'll do some Reddit eye bleach cringe. So let's do that. All right, see you. Let's do it.
And I watch mindless shit. Boats that smash into other boats.
Yay, it's time for boats, everybody.
Oh,
Everybody
shit.
likes boats.
Here we go again.
Yay, boats.
Everybody likes boats.
Yeah. I mean, pictures speak a lot of words. You know?
They sure do.
Like my favorite part about this is like all the way up here.
Wow.
Right? That guy. Like,
hang on, dude.
That dude right there. Like, and you're like, oh yeah, that's larg. That's a larg vessel. You know? So
wow.
Well, yeah, boats. Here we go. Here's some more boats.
That's a fish finder or a depth finder.
Yep. You know, a little kayak. What's that thing? Noms. Like
shark.
Taste the boat.
Shark.
Taste the boat. I thought was bonin.
Snake.
Let's make sure we exit out of things. What, $50 a gram gets you in Antarctica? That's
a gram.
What kind of weed you got? I got that Antarctica weed, dog. Shit, frosty as shit.
What kind of gram is that?
Right? I don't think that's a gram. I think this is $50 for a gram. And then that's what he paid this.
Ah.
You know? If I mathed right. Is this what you've been drinking? Is that what you've been drinking?
Water. Yep.
You got smart water and dumbass water. What else we got?
Water.
Oh, I didn't know if you knew, but 50 Woodstock joints equals 1 marijuana dab. Nice. Just say no. Just say no.
No. I'm not just going to say
no.
No.
I love it. Woodstock joints. Bonin? That's a giant inflatable bonin?
That's a bonin with a bonan.
When you spoke indica and sativa at the same time.
I love Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker got that eye of the Pfizer. What else?
Except that he's had that his whole life.
So, can you tell what that is?
That's mustard.
This bottle.
It's either mustard or baby food. Yellow mustard.
Yep. This little lady's face is the best bit. Like, ooh, mustard popsicle.
She has. Wait a minute. She gave you 2 beautiful children, and this is how you repay her?
That
Really?
seems fair.
Okay. I'm down.
It's the face. The face is good. Can you tell what happened during this crime scene? Like,
no fruit snacks were harmed during the making of this.
Right.
Movie.
We changed all the names of the fruit snack to protect the innocent. I just like, it's just the whole box. He got the whole box out, you know?
He sure did. Proud of him.
Here we go. You're looking for his remote to turn his TV off, but you find this instead.
That kid gets that kid's gonna catch a beating. At least in my house. Oh, he's just straight up eating the powder out of the thing. Oh man, no scoop.
This is like a scene out of Scarface.
But you know what? There's very little on the bed, so that's impressive.
That's a plus. You gotta like peel the shirt back all in one.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
The minute he gets up, you're toast, dude. You're toast.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you gotta fold the shirt in on itself to like, don't
you dare put your hands on that bed sheet. Yep, that's right.
Yep,
that's right. Big cookies.
This one's called Immediate Regret. Like,
I don't think that's what they were punching at.
King. Oh yeah, that sucks, huh? That
Yikes.
sucks, kid.
Sorry.
Is it yikes? This kid, dude. And action.
Yeah, you like that one? No, it's not the t-shirt's not fat, no.
Maybe wear a jumper.
Wear
a jumper.
Why?
Because I... Look.
Aw, sweet kid.
Sweet?
Kid.
You're like, sweet kid?
That's a sweet
Called
kid.
him fat.
That's a
like,
sweet
cover
kid.
that tum-tum up.
He's looking out for his daddy.
Yeah. Who's this one looking out for, we wonder? And action.
What did you just bring in?
That was a snake.
Nice.
Oh, you've got a snake in your hand. And you...
It's just a garter snake. Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, you got a snake
she
in your hand.
starts swinging it. Yeah, I do.
I don't understand why kids pick living things up if they don't want it to wriggle.
Well, they do. They just don't expect. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, 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 no.
Look at that big mud streak.
Just when you thought he was safe.
Dude, that was great.
That was great.
That
most
was,
amazing, brother.
That most amazing jump and faceplant. That was great. I needed that. Totally. Thank you.
Here we go.
I don't have any milk in my nipples. Really? What, Mummy?
You funny.
Why? I have actually got nipples.
I know.
That's a booby.
She tried to drink your milk.
No, I haven't got any milk. It's just the chest. What's she doing?
That face is just good.
Adorbs.
My
That's
son's
adorbs.
school was having issues with messy bathrooms, so every month they reward the boys or girls with ice cream, depending on whose bathrooms are cleaner. And according to my son, it's become a prank where they just fuck up each other's bathrooms.
Nice. A prank war. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that had its intended effect.
How to ensure your child needs therapy later in life. Look at the googly eyes. They're googly eyes.
Wait, what did she do?
Googly. They're
Did she wake
googly
him up?
eyes.
Did she wake him up? I missed part of that.
No, it's just that.
The kid's hiding in
It's
the corner.
just the googly eyes.
Oh my god.
Why is that so funny?
Mommy says I am going to hell. That is funny.
Korg and action.
Uh-oh.
To
Not a
battle,
horse.
faithful steed.
Not a horse.
Oh.
Doink.
Oh God.
Poor kid.
Yep. Trigger away. Like.
I wish I could read Japanese. Oh, doink.
Like,
That's a
that
that's a
could have
mild
been worse.
concussion. That's a mild concussion.
It could have been
It's
worse.
all right. He'll be all right.
He'll be all right. So this just happened.
Come on, baby. What do you think? Say, ew, yuck. Are you gonna walk? What are you doing? She's like, that doesn't feel good. She's like, it's cold. What is this? What is this?
In the sand. Yeah. She gonna pull the pants down?
Come on, Pepe, come here. Come on. She's like, that's so far away. She says, I can't feel the floor. It's sinking.
Oh my god! Oops.
Let me see if people notice that one.
What is this? What is this sorcery? Come on. Come on.
Beach
Pepe,
rat.
come here. Come on. She's
Yeah,
like, that's so
Cookies
far
calls
away.
it beach rat.
I can't feel the
Beach rat.
It's sinking.
Whee! Like, oh.
Kid goes face first. Yeah, you can have the rats, kid. You can have the kid rats.
Yep. Let me help you. This is called. Okay, we go upstairs and upstairs.
Oh.
We go upstairs. Okay, look,
Uh-oh.
I help you. Just look. I help. I help. All right, look. Try one more.
No, don't eat
Like-
my face. Don't eat my.
Okay, come on.
Oh.
Come on.
Wow.
We go upstairs now. Like, yes.
Did you break his neck?
Okay.
No. Okay.
We good.
Oh. Oh.
Did you break his
buddies.
neck?
Oh, that looked like Lenny and the Rabbits to me a little bit.
Right. Oh my God, this one is one of my favorites. Right. So, Golden Retriever Nala's
Nala.
special dance, the Nala Stomp. This is the Nala Stomp, and this song will be stuck in everyone's heads for the rest of the week.
She stomp, she do the Nala stomp. She stomp, she do the Nala stomp. She stomp,
She stomp, she do the Nala Stomp. She stomp,
she
she stomp.
she do the Nala stomp. Hey, she stomp, she do the Nala stomp. She stomp, she do the Nala stomp. Ooh, stomp, she do the Nala.
That's so funny.
She do the Nala stomp.
She stomp,
She
He's
stomp.
happy.
she do the
She do the Nala Stomp.
She stomp, she do the
I-
Nala stomp.
Okay.
It's so good, dude. I don't know. You just have no love in your heart, you know?
And we're losing.
This
and
is
we're
you?
losing viewers. No, I'm kidding. We're not.
No, we're not.
I know we're not.
Go, dude. Golden Retrievers will gain us views.
Nala stomps. Oh,
Whee!
hey now.
Can I get it to actually show the rest?
Of course not.
Because gamers in the chat, they'll be catching that music on that. Beep, boo.
You do the Nala stomp.
No, this one.
Well, thank you. Just in case you didn't before, Donkey Kong.
Dude, Yes. But which one?
We should actually go over to Rockfin and Rumble and tell everybody to go over there and turn off the YouTube so they don't give us strikes. Because it always happens during boats.
Yes, but I don't think the Donkey Kong theme music while you're playing the game is going to get you popped. So, because people actually play that game.
That's what you think.
Holy shit.
Uh-oh. Whoa!
Like,
when I said jump, you asked how high.
Fuck you, Ice.
Oh, I want to go in the water.
Like, or he sees a fish under there. We saw that.
A hawk attack. Hawk attack, everyone.
Like, just that. Just that. Can I pause it on the hawk? Can I find the hawk? Like, oh my god, dude. Hold on. Let me, there you see the hawk, right?
I see
There's the hawk. No, you don't.
Oh.
Like, no, it's just gone. Like, ooh.
He's
like
laughing. She's laughing.
Missile.
Wow.
Like, Puppo? What Puppo want? Puppo want bread?
Oh, this is so mean.
Puppo take bread.
Oh,
I take bread. Give me bread.
That's wrong.
This don't taste like bread. All right, I guess it's not bread. Like, Puppo take bread.
That's wrong on so many levels. That's just mean.
Isn't it? You're mean. What are you doing?
Look at him excited me. On tiptoes. Come on.
They're evolving.
Bro, he is literally upright. Come on.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Okay, that just fucked me up totally. That just completely fucked me up. What was that? Show that again. I gotta see that again. What? Oh. What? A meerkat. Yeah.
He's just chilling
Holy
out.
Shit. What? Well, look at boy. Look at the boy.
What the heck?
Dude, you're gonna knock on the door to the bathroom. He's gonna be sitting there like, dude, I'm in here.
Right. Oop. What do we got next? Oh, yeah. All right. Keep your eye on the cat.
Okay. Whoa! Almost lands on his feet. Whoa! Parkour!
It's just
Hardcore kitty parkour.
I want to catch it's like right. It's like in here, I think.
Oh, the legs just flail out, but it's like. Ah.
He's like parachuting down.
White men can't jump. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, man, that was impressive.
Okay, you remember at the start of the show where we? You remember the start of the show where we foreshadowed this?
Oh my god, that catnip's hitting so hard right now. I think my Are you my conscious? Yes, go kill the bird in the backyard. Okay. Oh, don't do it. Oh, I shouldn't do it. I can do it. Yeah, I can kill him. Oh, don't kill him. You guys should kill him.
Is she really stupid?
No, not kill him.
Oh my god!
Let's just look at the ears are the best bit.
Oh my god, that catnip's hitting so hard right now. I think Are you my conscious? Yes, go kill him.
Are you my conscious?
Okay. Oh, don't do it. I should.
Look at the ears. The ears are like, what?
Yeah, I can kill him. Oh, don't kill him? You guys should I kill him or not kill him?
Kill him or not kill him? What do we got next?
So I'm freaking out, man. Yeah.
I'm freaking out, man. Oh, everyone's got to turn their sound up for this one. And action. Oh, God.
I think he wants some.
Like, a little face, dude. Like, that dude is just open mouth. I want to hear it again.
Nice. I do. Yes, actually, as a matter of fact, I do.
Wow.
There's the Popeye story.
We got his cousin. All right. Here we go. Nope, sound.
Oh,
Kitty! How you feeling, squirrel?
I'm gonna fuck some stuff up today.
Oh, it's so cute.
How you feeling, squirrel?
Squirrel!
Squirrel. That's great.
Squirrel.
That would be squirrel. Just tiny little scream. So whose luggage do you think this is?
Mine.
This is your luggage?
Mine.
Right. Who's that golfer? That Bert Kreischer golfer?
John Daly.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
That Bert Kreischer golfer. It is John Daly. Holy shit, that's just his pants.
It's not John Daly, but that's like some John Daly pants right there.
That sure is. I love the matching suitcase. That is balls.
That's great, dude. That's legit.
Mastermind Hour saying Jackson Pollock. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta refresh it. Because that's just what we have to do. The most confused man on earth.
Oh, that's fucked up. He's in college. That's a college dorm bed.
The face,
oh, that is just wrong. That is wrong. He's still got his backpack on. Dude, he passed out with a backpack on. He's chasing somebody in the closet, freaking out. He caught him at the end.
Fuck.
Oh, that's
good. Hilarious.
That's a camelback. Yes, thank you, Bad Cookies.
Could be worse. Could be worse. Could be this guy.
Oh,
fuck. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh. Dude, that is some people that don't like you in your house.
Right? Ready for some hardcore parkour?
Yes.
Hardcore parkour.
Love parkour. We already got
Chéquense
some with
porque
the
no había ni
kitties.
mencionado bien todo el público que tiene Johnny. Que va a hacer ese salto. Mierda.
Oh.
That sucks.
Oh.
Let's watch that again. Oh, look at that. Look at the pause on that. Like, that's when he knew he fucked up.
Ow. I did not think that the windowsill would break.
Right? Here we go. Here's some more hardcore parkour. Refresh. And then full screen. Light, camera, action.
Does he make it? Does he make it? Gonna make it? Gonna. Ow. Now I'm gonna get wet.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just the slow-mo back into the like do 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 boo. Just going down the whole time.
Yeah.
Shoes were the last thing in.
Oh boy.
So this is a German lady, German model, paid for a surgery to increase the length of her legs.
Well, it worked. They are longer.
Yes. Yeah. If that's what you want to call them.
Freakishly so.
I saw recently another guy got this and had to go through like extensive physical therapy just to be like 6 fucking like whatever. Like who cares? But that's ridiculous.
Again, Gattaca. Tony Shalhoub.
Gattaca.
Tony Shalhoub and Ethan Hawke. There's a scene where they add 2 inches to him. His legs.
Let me tell you something. 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 Right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Wait. Wait. No. Wait. What did you want to tell me?
Oh my God.
Both of you guys.
What did you want to tell me?
Double check. Safety first. Double check.
Oh my God, in plastic chairs. Strapped to plastic chairs.
Yeah. But that's such a good move of like the tilt, you know, gets him with the tilt. Let me tell you something. It's like an interrogation thing. So, can you read that for me?
Dear valued customer, please note that all egg promotions are canceled due to the AI outbreak.
Why would that affect the eggs?
That would be the avian flu, I would guess.
I guess, but I would like to believe it's AI instead.
The outbreak of AI.
AI is ruining our egg promotions. Did you see this? So this is the Texas House Speaker. Did you see this ridiculousness?
No.
Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Mr. Campbell, send the amendment is acceptable to the author. Is there objection to the opposite amendment? The chair has none. The amendment is adopted.
This dude is
Mr. Johnson of Harris. Mr. Johnson of Harris to speak in opposition to the bill.
You want Niabe? Chair recognizes Ms. Niabe Criado to speak.
The chair recognizes Ms. Niabe Criado to speak in opposition to the bill.
Dude, like this bit.
What the hell was that?
The amendment is acceptable to the author. Is there objection to the opposite amendment? The chair has none. The amendment is adopted.
Wow. Man, he's doing a great Nancy Pelosi impression.
Pelosi's understudy. There you go. Whoever got that one.
Exit. What is this one? Most insane swan dive ever. That's what this one's called. Whee!
Oh my God. Oh my.
Oh shit.
What?
Dude, what? He pulls a triple Lindy.
And then pulls the shoot.
Oh. Wow. Like Q Bond music.
Damn.
This one's pretty good. This is the mayor. Like, that's the mayor.
Ik ga er vandaag vanuit dat evenementen zijn die terug zullen kunnen doen.
You.
He's got security there.
Yep. It's just the nonchalant like push, you know. And he falls over like like what? Like, and he was just honestly like, you know. So this is there was an attempt to complete this commercial with no harm.
Dominal garage. Tal, tal, tal. Mia, mia, mia. Okay.
Oh! Was that Hezbollah?
No.
Okay.
It hurts just as much the second time.
Yeah, it does. That sucks. Have you ever had that happen?
Oh,
that sucks so much.
They actually designed
even
Subarus now so that like if you do that in a window, the window has enough give that it won't like. It's a frameless window, so it won't slam on your fingers like that. Go ahead.
Dude. Even the bees are saying ACAB now.
The attack caught on camera. Neighbors in Encino calling for help as the angry bees swarm. One of the first responders, this man, we've learned he's an LAPD volunteer assigned to the West Valley Division. Those bees stinging him dozens of times. At one point, he collapses to the ground as he tries to escape.
Oh, fuck, dude. Not the bees! Not the bees!
The attack caught on camera. Neighbors in
Oh, God.
That makes you think of Tommy Boy. That makes you think of the scene in Tommy Boy. They're being chased by the cops.
It makes me think of the scene in Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. Not the bees!
They're terrible!
Not the bees!
They're gonna get us all! It's all backwards. Oh, no, it was backwards, but not anymore.
Yep. This guy made it down first.
Uh-oh.
Whee!
Oh,
he did it.
He's going for a swim.
He did it. Oh, what?
A swim?
A squimmies? A little squim? You matter. Don't give up. Or
you don't matter.
You don't matter. Give up.
Yep.
I don't think that had the intended purpose.
It's all about your perspective.
Dude, we're gonna get BMX bikes. The airtime, dude.
Love it.
Like,
he overshot his mark.
He did.
Just slightly.
He sent, dude. He full sent.
Nice. Sick air, bro.
Sick air, bro. It was totally rad.
National Weather Service alert.
Flood warning.
Yeah.
Flash flood.
Flash floods.
You don't say.
You don't say.
Holy
Like,
shit, that's
man.
great.
Yeah. That's so
great.
good, dude.
That's great.
Oh my god, this one. A little tappy tap. Oh, fuck. Bing. Dude.
Somebody's
like,
gonna catch a
I had
beating.
TMJ just like looking at that.
Somebody needs to catch a beating for that one.
Oh, at least he got the shaft and not like the head, you know? Like
Bad cookies, great minds.
Can you translate this for me?
Every time come on hood like had nothing to fight, like they had nothing to fight. All through one come on hood, cause they know come on hustlers, a nickel gonna make on hustlers more than 5 figures. Let's go ahead and keep it 50 fast straight, chunking up 5 fingers.
What?
What?
Wait.
Fight, like they had nothing to fight. All through one come on hood, cause they know come on hustlers, a nickel gonna make on hustlers more than 5 figures. Let's go ahead and keep it 50 fast straight,
5 fingers.
chunking up 5 fingers.
We got to keep it 55th.
And then I heard 5 fingers.
55th. Gotta keep it 5 fingers.
He does have a 5, like tattooed on his fucking face.
Like had nothing fight, like they had nothing fight offer one come
But I guess that there's a 5 on the other side.
A nickel gonna make on Huster's more than 5 figures. Let's go ahead and keep it 55th Street. Chucking up 5
55th
figures.
Street.
Okay.
Chucking up.
My guess is that there's a 5 on the other side, tattooed on his other cheek. And
yeah, it's like 55th Street. It's like,
yeah, well, he forgot his address. Now he knows. He lives on 55th Street.
No, 55th Street. Gotta keep it 5
just
figures.
gotta look in the mirror.
Gotta make 5 figures.
You gotta draw it backwards. You gotta draw it backwards so you can see in the mirror when you look at it.
You gotta keep it 55th.
What?
As you do. As you do. And action. All right, you get the whole 9 seconds. Let's see about those whole 9 seconds.
Bull riding.
The bull's
Engine
really
bull.
bucking.
Wow. Okay, that chain may not hold.
That chain man on hold. Well, it's a chain hoist. It'll be all right. But I think it was misfiring a bit.
You think? Oh God. He's got a harmonica.
And
welcome to Japanese
action.
TV, folks. What a great song. The Out My Leg song. Oh, that's great.
Oh, dude. To hang something up. There was an attempt.
First date in my Airbnb and... Oh, come on.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Oh, fuck it. I love the last one where he's like super gentle with it. You know,
like that one's gonna make it.
That one. Yeah.
Oxidation. I'm not paying for that. Yep, that's right. At least you took a video of it. You had a feeling.
You had a feeling.
Oh, Gamer. Gamer's talking about Kool-Aid segment on Two Bears. Oh.
Kool-Aid? A whole gallon of Kool-Aid?
It really is Kool-Aid.
You know, when people really think you drink a lot of water.
Bert, the sounds that come out of Bert's mouth during that little laughing segment are just mwah. Yes, I agree with you.
He
Gamer.
almost passes out, dude. It's the worst.
And his face turns red. We watch Two Bears every Monday.
Could we play Kool-Aids? Do you think they would let us play Kool-Aid?
I don't know. Probably not.
We could do that.
But
I don't know, YMH is going to come copyright us. I hope you do, Tom. Bert. Hating on Tallahassee
Bert
boys,
is welcome
Bert.
to come on. How do we miss that? Anytime.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
What is in this? Oh, it's water. Oh, it's fish. Oh,
Yep.
Hey now.
Okay, grab those fish.
Hey, get that.
Harry. Hey, grab those fish. What are you doing? What are you doing? You fucking stupid. Get those fish, dog.
What are you going to do?
Grab those fish. Go get a broom. Oh, fuck. Flopping fish.
They'll be fine. Just drain the water.
Yeah. Let's drain the water.
What? Okay, I don't think that they expected that to be that heavy.
Water? They don't expect it to be that heavy?
The fish. Uh-oh.
before we do, we'll do this one. We'll play this one.
An attempt was made.
And
Okay.
Try
action.
getting up.
Wait.
Try getting up.
Wow. What the fuck? Can I see that uncensored? Is she single? Oh God, bad cookies.
Right.
Oh, Jenga. That's right. Almost rude at that point. Wait. Nice.
That's a lot of that's a lot of Kool-Aid.
It is. Yeah, it is Kool-Aid.
Two bears. 1K.
This is a long one.
No one. Hold on.
I'll take a sip of Kool-Aid.
Go ahead.
The
Kool-Aid. You drinking Kool-Aid to start your day? Really?
It's so good.
Oh, so good.
Red.
Kool-Aid
is fucking awesome. It really is awesome. It's so good. Take a little, pour a little something for yourself. It's watered down. It's not too bad.
You really drinking
Ice
Kool-Aid?
cold. It's ice cold. Yeah.
It's ice cold.
You are drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You're drinking a fucking 64 ounce.
Tom dying. That's so good.
Reacting fair use. Fuck you, Tom. Come at me, bro. I will basketball you.
Best. This is so much sugar. Right. Gosh.
So much sugar.
Why not for that, man?
People walk around.
I don't know if they're stoned or not, whoever, but
they're like, good for that guy. He drinks a lot of water. Oh, fuck.
I don't know if Bert could, he would. Copyrighted girly gig.
He might. Is there still a lot of fucking time
half
left?
a gallon of Kool-Aid.
Can you copyright a girly giggle?
You're like, I'm getting my day started.
I'm sweating right now. I'm soaking fucking wet.
Wait, this goes on. This is a 7-minute segment.
Yes, yeah, it gets better.
Okay, hold on.
It's pretty good. It's not that.
He drinks it.
It's good, right?
It's good. You should drink 64 ounces. And I drink 2 of them.
I drink 2 of
I
them.
drink 2 every day.
No, they're not high, gamer. No, they're not. It's really just Kool-Aid, yes.
Sweating right now.
Throw up.
Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura,
You know,
they
like,
are
you don't
stand-up
realize how different
comedians.
you are until
They're
someone
great.
points it out.
Oh my god! I need to fucking lay down.
Your eyes are so bloodshot right now.
I love it.
Tom is losing it.
I don't know. I'm gonna be. I don't know that there's another adult man in the country that has a fucking gallon of Kool-Aid.
I drink a gallon of coffee like that.
It's so much Kool-Aid.
It's so much
You're
Kool-Aid.
crying.
Oh.
Oh. I'm soaking wet. Good thing I'm hiding. It really is good.
Amazing. I cannot handle this.
Oh. He can't even drink without laughing now. It's going right up his nose. I was watching ever since.
So wait, take me through your morning. Just for people that don't know, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So, how does your day start?
Okay. I get up. I make a double iced coffee, and I drink that, and then I ran 4 miles. And then I make a big one of these. I get in the pool, shower in the pool, and then I sip this throughout the day.
He showers in the
one
pool.
Or 2 more of these. The pink lemonade's really good.
1 or 2 more.
Oh. The worst is that Isla and the 2 of us fucking murder these. Like to the point where when pandemic started, we had to get Leanne to go to Dollar Tree to get more Kool-Aid because we were going through so much Kool-Aid because we were just home.
I didn't even know you were into Kool-Aid.
Oh, I love it.
You've never mentioned Kool-Aid before.
Oh, I drink Kool-Aid every day. I love Kool-Aid.
You drink Kool-Aid every day?
Yeah, probably about 120 ounces. You don't think that's not adding calories though?
No.
It's not. It's low calorie Kool-Aid.
Yeah, no. Most doctors recommend it.
Most doctors recommend it.
What's with the other beverages? What you said?
Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. This is so. There's a guy here that works here. His name's Chris.
Yes.
When they say Bert has a drinking
And
problem.
how many calories are in Kool-Aid?
Per serving. A serving is what, 8 ounces? So about 100 calories.
I get low calorie Kool-Aid.
Oh.
I'm fucking sweating. I need to stop laughing. I haven't taken my blood pressure medicine yet.
Wait, scroll back down. Scroll down. Hold on. Sugars. 25 grams per serving.
Wait. Look at the vitamin C though.
Yeah. That's
Look
true.
at the vitamin C.
Oh my God, that might be the hardest we've laughed on this show ever.
Bert and Tom.
Tom and Bert.
One goes top spot, the other wears shirt. Yeah, 100 and
One's Bert Kreischer and the other's a machine.
yeah.
There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean.
This is what we
That's what we'll
call
call
two bears,
one cave.
Yeah.
The fact that we know that is sad. You know? Like, all right, now for a much better duo. I want to see Tom and Bert do this. I bet you can't, Bert.
Yeah, you can. We want to break the Guinness. And
Wow.
are you ready? And this is the second attempt.
Which one would be Bert? Which one would be
time
Tom?
of my life. Oh, I would
And we
never.
owe it all to you. And I swear.
Bert would definitely
It's
have
the
to be
truth. I would
on
like to
bottom.
see.
Faster. We need to
I would like to
would
see the
take more
Brazilian
time
Dirty
on the-
Dancing.
Bro, that's
More time
ridiculous.
On the first 2 flights of stairs, we got to get the time, and then you
2
can-
flights.
Go. We can do it. We can do it. Push.
Holy
You
shit.
can do it. You got the last flight of stairs. Let's go. Let's go. boys.
Another flight.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
Let's go.
What?
The Guinness
Why?
World Record is
I
nothing.
have just
You can
one
do it.
question. Why?
We can do it.
If you are that
I would not
capable,
want to do that next to all those
I'm
fucking
more tired
spike
than
fences.
right? Just dump him right on his nuts.
Yes.
What? What?
You guys have just witnessed history, and you guys are the first to see it. The Jack family.
What? Now you throw him down the steps.
That would be it, right? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Impressive. All right. You know how we end things here.
Oh boy. It's time for bangs.
Yep.
Oh, watch out for that kickback.
Like, it's just broken, dude. It just broke everywhere. It just broken.
It just fell apart.
So this was in Moscow.
In Russia. Instruction get you. Boom.
I am the machine. Like,
yes. They're all running away because something's about to. Debris.
Yeah, that was a fucking propane. It's a Russian gas. Dude, this one is like, how?
I saw this.
Like, what? What happened? Also, what are you filling here?
I think that the gas tank next to them exploded into the car.
Okay.
But how did it not kill the guy?
Dude.
Standing right there. Boom.
Good question. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Do you see this one?
What? F-18?
Yes.
Yes, I believe that they. Yeah, so the pilot ejected.
Yep. Dude, look at that fucking.
Yep.
Like,
there's $50 million down. Thank you very much.
Like, oh my God. Like, really?
Yep.
There. Like a little mini nuke in Fallout.
Yep.
Let's go.
400-pound propane
this
tank.
one.
Oh boy.
Yep.
So are these valves turned on? Like,
that's a working structure fire. For those who don't know. Oh!
Now what is it?
Shit.
Now what is it?
It's gone. Is what it is. Wow. Damn.
fucking told them.
Dude, holy
Fucking
shit.
told you. Yeah. Told you the tank was going to go. It's a fire sale. That house is still in the market. Hot seller, fire sale, going fast. Oh, Jesus Christ, bad cookies. That's really funny.
Yeah. I kind of want to see it again. Hold on.
Boom. Dude, I'm glad all those firefighters are okay.
Yeah.
And those guys are awfully close.
That's a lot of damage. Fucking told them.
Did those guys yell that? No, that's a lot of damage.
No, that's a lot of damage. So very special.
Here's our finale.
Ending of boats. Boats.
Oh, blowing up other boats?
Yep. And then suddenly, when you least expect it.
Hey now! Oh my God!
Oh my God! Like,
oh my God! The boat just fell on him.
Well, part of it, the bimini top.
Ow!
You know. Yep.
Yeah, Woe was right.
But,
ow!
Like, for a second though, he was like, "I believe I can fly."
Woo!
Like, wee! Like.
Oh, I didn't believe.
Dude.
I actually flew.
A flu.
Damn.
But anyway, that's boats. That's boats. We did it.
Wow. We did.
Yeah. Look at that.
But before we go, I got a cat. Needs a name. Serious suggestions only.
What was the one in History of the World Part 1?
I don't know, but
remember the guy where he couldn't stop laughing saying his name?
No, I don't remember that, but
yeah, that's the name.
Is his name Dick or Peter? Is his name Dick or Peter?
Peter.
Dick's Maximus. Nice. Dick's Maximus.
Dick's Maximus.
Dude, Dick knows what? Yeah, this. The comments were so good. I saw that on Instagram. I was like, that's just great.
Bodie McBoat face.
Bodie McBoat face. That's right. Oh, you said that earlier. Oh, we're back to that.
Good.
Okay. So here is
Dick
our
Tracy.
Don't forget
Richard Brimley.
Nice. Biggest dickest.
Diabetes.
Nice. President Johnson.
That's good.
All right. So here's our don't forget sign up.
William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Anyone gets that
My
reference?
God, dude. Willem Dafoe. Nice.
There's a little Jesse stream with that one. That one's good.
It's a distraction. His enormous junk is a distraction.
Yeah. No, for the director, it was like.
Oh, it was the director, right?
Abnormally large or whatever it was.
So sign up for our Substack and sign up for our Discord. That's independentleft.gg. Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, Reef will be joining JB Font. So go check that out. Go sign up for JB, the JB Font channel. And Indie News Network on TikTok this week. TikTok.com/@indienews.network. And you'll see some.
INN made one, right?
That's what I just said. Indie News Network.
I thought you said Indie left.
No, I did not make one. I still don't want to be on TikTok. I'll just put my
also
Hertz. So,
Tuesday.
What?
Also Tuesday. Are we doing
It's an American tradition?
Are we doing that?
That's a good question. I don't know if Tuesday's American tradition. Monday we have Alternative Angle. Wednesday we got INN News, and then the rest of the week, who the hell knows? Because it's a Memorial Day. But yeah. So stay tuned. There is a new INN trailer or intro for the 60-second thing.
Alternative Angle Monday.
Yeah, Alternative Angle Monday. Yes, definitely 9:30-ish, somewhere around there. Check that out.
Wednesday
show.
INN News.
Is that tomorrow night? Well,
Same bat time.
Just
Same bat channel.
Yeah, sure. I thought that was Tuesday night, the post-duopoly show. But yep. Hook up our friends Krev and Chris too when they're doing Alternative Angle. That's fun. They'll do that late. And we will see you. I don't know if we're doing a show next weekend, honestly. Like Memorial Day weekend. My wife's been yelling at me like crazy, doing too much stuff with the network, and I probably need a week off. We haven't had one in a while. I can't even remember the last time we took one off. But we'll figure it out. Stay tuned, folks. Check out the Substack. IndieMedia.today. That's right. IndieMediaToday.substack.com. Thank you, everybody. For real. Love you all. Have a great night. And always question everybody's motivations.
Yep. And keep listening what Little Birds have to tell you.
Perfect.
Night, everybody.
And good night.
Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. Co-hosted normally by me, Indy. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me.
Back at Indie News.
Is Andrew Rivera on The Handsome Cynic?
It's Politics and Survival.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American Tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
I mostly make art for INN.
Big Man Crab Joe. Keep up those great videos.
Hey guys, it's Yeti coming at you.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion.
fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking